everything is on social media right now. Everything is going viral.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the room. We are going to talk about folks who have half Black American lineage, including myself and some others. So we're going to wait for my co-host to join, and then we'll get started. But welcome, everyone. Hey, what's up, Rashad? Hey, everyone in the room. Thank you for coming. This has been a really pressing topic for a lot of people. So hey, Cherise, welcome to the room.
Hey everybody.
Hi, everyone. So today we wanted to have this conversation, and the title reads, My lineage is half Black American. What's the issue? So today we really wanted to have this conversation because I've spoken to a lot of people on Twitter, and over the months where I've spoken to folks on Twitter, there would be like a select few of people who had an issue with me being half Jamaican. And they would say things like, I should not be speaking for all Black Americans. I don't have that right. I should just take a back seat. And I am a flip flopper. I've been called a bi-ethnic swirl. I've been called a tether. I've been called I'm trying to think. Oh, an anchor baby. I've been called a lot of things that I'm honestly hearing for the first time on Twitter. So before I even, as I'm talking, anyone can come up and state the issue that you may or may not have with myself and Sharif being both Black American and Jamaican. It is my understanding that both our mothers are fully Black American and our fathers are Jamaicans. And so,
And we were raised by mother's side.
right. And so me and her spoke, and we were both brought up and raised by our mother's side. For me specifically, I'll just give you guys a little insight. So for me, my parents, they were married when I was a child, and not even when I was a child. They were married when my brother was a child. They got divorced by the time they had me. And really, my family are Muslim people, and so it was an Islamic marriage. And even after their divorce, they stayed Muslim. And so I grew up in a very predominantly Black American Muslim household. And even though my father is Caribbean, when I would go visit my father, I wouldn't learn about Caribbean culture. I would have to recite Quran and things of that sort. So that is my experience. But people like to assume otherwise, and they think that I know a whole lot about Jamaican culture, and I do now because I've done the research, but I haven't learned that from my specific family. But before I say anything further, I really want those who have an issue to come up, request the mic, and speak and state your issue with either me or Sharice being Black American and Jamaican and speaking on reparations here.
Before they go, I want to give my little backdrop too.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Because
Go ahead.
yeah, people. I would say this first. People act like they know me when they really don't. Just because you have conversed with me online, it doesn't mean you know me. But anyways, okay, I'll go. So my parents were married. They're divorced now, but my parents were married. They got married in 1998. My mom basically got pregnant right away. Had me 1999. I was their first child. Well, their first child together because my dad has two other children. But yeah, my mom is Black American, dad is Jamaican. They separated when I was 3, divorced when I was around 6. So my mom basically raised me, and I would go with my dad. Me and my siblings will go with my dad. Like, you know how when you're divorced, they have like visitation hours. So I would go with my dad on the weekends, like once every 2 weeks or once every week. So yeah, raised by my mom's side. Wasn't until Twitter where I started to get the name calling and stuff. I was raised on my mom's side, raised in the church. My grandparents are pastors. They're Pentecostal. They own a church. That's the church I go to every week. They did my mom's wedding as well. Personally, they don't. They're not too fond of people that they're not too fond of black people that aren't Black American, but they don't hate them. But anyways, yeah, raised on my mom's side, and I try to learn about my Jamaican side, but it's just kind of hard when you weren't really raised in it, especially if your dad didn't live in the house with you. So yeah, that's me. But I'm gonna let anybody who wants to say something come up.
I want to also add to that, right? Because I discovered on Twitter that my dad is first gen. And so my dad wasn't born in Jamaica. He was born in Manhattan, New York. And I think his older siblings were born there. All my life, I thought he was born there. I didn't find out until he died that he was actually born here because I received his birth certificate for the death certificate, which was last year, 2021. So I didn't find out until he passed away that he was actually born here. But it was really obvious because he didn't have an accent. He like Rakim. He didn't have much Jamaican culture to pass down to me. So I really tuned into my grandmother. And I don't speak to her right now, but I try to, as a kid, I would try to listen to her to gain something, but she wasn't trying to pass nothing down to me. So yeah, I'll stop there. We got somebody
Oh,
requesting the
one
mic.
more thing as well with my dad. So he was born there, but they brought him to Jamaica. They brought him to America when he was around 3 years old. So he didn't really get to learn the culture either, which is probably why he didn't teach it to us, because he doesn't really know it like that. He didn't even bring himself over here. I know a lot of people are like, when it comes to like people from other countries, sometimes they're like, well, you escaped your country, you left your country. With my dad, he didn't even make that choice. His mom had already came to the States and left him in Jamaica, and so his grandparents and auntie brought him to Jamaica after his mom came. I mean, brought him to America after his mom came when he was around 3. So he not first gen, but he don't really know his, like, I guess he knows some stuff, but he just hasn't. I don't know why he hasn't really taught it to me. But yeah.
Right. All right. So go ahead, South Saint Laura Larula.
Yeah, I just want to tell y'all like this, right? Listen, uh, uh, we all got different opinions. These dudes or these people, trying to act like if you're Jamaican, or if you have Jamaican and have foundational black, like you not black enough. That shit don't mean nothing. That's not the ideology of a real stand up black person. Okay, bottom line. You know what I mean? When I hear somebody say something like that, I think about a brother like Marcus Garvey, who was a Jamaican who, came over here with a mean blueprint and manuscript for us. And white people knew it would work, and they got his ass up out of here. And I'm gonna tell you straight up like this. I read all types of books by different people like Marcus Garvey. And far as I'm concerned, he was more of a threat than Malcolm X or Martin Luther King could have ever been, and he was a Jamaican dude. I want to mention a guy by the name of Denmark Vesey, who was a Haitian who came over here to help foundational Black Americans in South Carolina and got snitched on. So we gonna get some shit straight right now. You understand what I'm saying though? Like, that man was a free man. He came over here, and foundational blacks told on him and got him hung, and he came over here to save black people. If you are Uncle Tom or you a sellout, it doesn't matter if you a Jamaican, an African, a foundational Black American. You all in the same boat. You all in the same category. I've been to federal prison with some of the realest niggas in the country. Don't none of them think like that. Bottom line. So I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. Now, when it comes time for these reparations, yeah, we already know who it's supposed to go to, and that's just what it is. But all that old bullshit, acting like somebody ain't black enough and all of that shit, man, get up out of here with that weird shit, because that ain't how no real niggas move, and that ain't how no real black men move. So I ain't trying to hear it.
I'm gonna say something before everyone continues. The real reason I think people don't like me is not even because I'm half Jamaican or whatever. It's because of my political views. And this all got started on Twitter. 2-3 years ago, when Tariq basically called me out because I had both the flags in my bio at a time. Second, I was supporting Trump heavy. So he called me out and basically was like, you know, these immigrants talk about immigrants, and said I was an immigrant, said I was a dusty, bummy immigrant Negro. And that, I feel like that's how I got started. A lot of people don't like me because of my political views. It's not really because of I'm half Jamaican. They say that I am a Uncle Tom or a sellout because of my political views. Um, and I'm just like, okay, I can understand that, but at the same time, don't take it out on other people who are half and half, like basically by ethnic, just because of my political views. That doesn't really make any sense. It's not doing any justice. And everybody's allowed to have their own opinion when it comes to politics. At the end of the day, yes, at a time I was a Candace Owens conservative heavily, and I fell out with her and her crew, and really started to get my eyes open when it came to what I was saying. At a time, I did not support reparations. I admit that I did not support reparations, and some people had to gather me up and get me together. Even when it came to reparations, JL actually like helped me understand why reparations are important, and that's when I really started to be like, okay, I actually support reparations. When you come to think about it, and you do your own research, I actually do support this, and that's when a lot of conservatives started turning on me. And I fell out with Candace Owens. I fell out with a lot of them. You can ask JL. I fell out with so many of these conservatives because they do spew anti-black American rhetoric. So I just want to come and admit that at a time I was a Candace Owens conservative and spewing a lot of stuff that was very uh, anti-black American. And I admit that, but you can grow as an individual when you're open to learning. And that's the space that I'm in now.
Hey,
I'm
let
open
me
to
tell you
learning
something.
everything.
Listen, check this out. Let me tell you some funny shit.
Hold on. I just want to respond to that because
Okay. Okay.
that's something that, yeah, that's something that I didn't know. And I feel like kudos to you for admitting that you were wrong back then and that you are a supporter now. And it takes a real strong person to do that. That's something that I didn't even know. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you some funny shit. I was in a space a couple of days ago with Tariq, and a brother from Charleston, South Carolina called, and he's Geechee, and I don't know if you're familiar with some of them, but some of them dudes.
Yes, my grandma's
Okay,
side is
now
Geechee
now
from
now
South
now
Carolina.
now listen to this. Now sometimes the way they talk, they sound like they from Jamaica or another country or something. So Tariq actually really thought he was a Jamaican or a foreigner, and I had to step up and say, "Hey, man, that dude is for real. That's a real nigga." You know what I mean? And the point that I'm trying to make here is just like this. One thing that be bothering me about these spaces, I be listening to these dudes, and see, this is the thing. A lot of these dudes in these spaces, they just got woke when Tariq came around. And if Tariq Nasheed woke you up, listen, you really not in no position to really even be running your mouth. You really need to sit back and listen and do some studying on your own and stop believing what come out of everybody's mouth. You know what I mean? You got to
All
do
right.
your own.
I'm gonna move on really quick because we don't have that much time to do the space, but
Okay.
definitely thank you
Well,
for your opinion.
can I land my plane real quick? I'm not gonna hold you up, baby, for real. But all I just want to say is like this. Look, straight up, look, we all black at the end of the day, and we all pushing towards the same thing. We might not see eye to eye on everything, but we don't got to see eye to eye on everything. Let's just respect each other and move forward in the right direction. That's it.
Thank you for that. And I also just want to say that like we are not all black at the end of the day, and that is okay. All of us have our different ethnic relationships, and I agree with you. I just feel like it's important to respect your own lineage. We started off these spaces with respect your lineage, protect your lineage, and then when we do that, we're called tether, anchor baby, and all this dumb stuff. So, thank you, and thank you for speaking. Definitely appreciate it. Go ahead, Rashad.
What's up, everybody? I just wanted to. It was something that the brother had said that was inaccurate. Like Garvey was able to get stuff popping because he literally seen what I think it was Booker T. Washington them was doing over here, and he said he wanted to go work with them because when he was trying to do it over in Jamaica, Jamaica had the whole color caste system, and he had to leave from over there because he was like, "Yo, it was disgusting." Matter of fact, when he had to leave from the States, he went back to Jamaica, and I think he tried to run for mayor, and they allowed a white man to win, and he was just so disgusted he ended up leaving from there, but it was because of the Black Americans here that he was able to basically build himself up. Like, of course, I shot Garvey because Garvey's a rider. I respect Garvey heavy, but we got to make sure we put that in historical context that he was able to get it popping because of Black Americans. Now, if you are if you have a Black American parent and then one who is of Jamaican, that is cool. The problem that I usually have an issue with is the tether class, and the tether class being you're not automatically a tether just because you're an immigrant. You're a tether when you are of immigrant class, but you're trying to undermine Black American society by doing things like you had one of them in Michigan, a coon out of Michigan. I think he was Nigerian or something like that, and he was trying to get a bill passed to get Black History erased. That's who we
Black History Month.
Yeah, Black History Month. Thank you, sister. I'm gonna speak on specifically for me. That's the issue I have. I don't have issues. I never have an issue with immigrants because as you know, Sharice, I don't know what part of Florida you grew up in, but I grew up in South Florida. So you're gonna inquire, or you're gonna meet with people who are from Haiti. My best friend is from Haiti. Like,
they're all. I'm in Orlando, so they're all in Orlando as well. Like it's full of a lot of Caribbeans, and that's why I think my mom, like, she got my dad. He's Jamaican. There was a lot of them here in the 90s as well. So.
And the thing that I think the biggest thing that I end up learning, especially when it comes to that tether class, is that my best friend who's Haitian, he even told me, he was like, when he first came over, that the tethers told him, stay away from those Black Americans, they're gangbangers. This is what he told me. He came straight from Haiti. He told me this. And he was like, they said, stay away from them Black Americans. Matter of fact, it was so popular in South Florida. I don't know if you were, it was popular in Orlando, but in South Florida, they had something where they would say something like, let's say your name is Ron or something. It'll be foreign Ron, or it'd be foreign Paris. They'll make their name something foreign, like in their Facebook bio or something like that. So they'll make themselves other. I don't know if they still do it like that, but that's the issue that I always had, because my issue always comes with the tether class. I never have a problem with immigrants because of the simple fact of the matter, I grew up around them. I grew up around listening to people like Bob Marley, Vibes. I grew up listening to that because I grew up in South Florida. You're going to have a lot of Caribbean
right.
people around. But my issue is specifically with the tether class that try to undermine us and do little sneaky stuff about talking about how we don't have a culture.
Oh, I definitely understand where you're coming from. And me being half and half, I've been told by some Caribbeans, I'm not generalizing at all because I just don't like generalizing. But I've been told by some Caribbeans that I don't have a culture because I'm half Black American and I was raised in that culture. And I've had to sit down and educate them on how I do. So it's just like I hate how people come at us that are, I guess, bi ethnic, because at the end of the day, for those of us who are writing for our Black American side as well, we are the allies. We are there to educate the other side, and that's what I've been doing. I even had a conversation with my uncle of basically him not understanding why we should get reparations, and him not understanding how there is, although all of the Black people in the diaspora did go through some stuff, how there is a difference between what Black Americans went through and what Caribbeans went through. Like, but anyways, yeah. JL has been waving her hands. So
yeah, I know. JL, hold on. South Saint, if you're done, I'm gonna drop you. You can always come back up. So we're just gonna keep it like a small crew, but just letting you know. I'm gonna put you down, but if you want to speak again, just request the mic again.
Okay. Can y'all hear me?
yes.
So when it comes to this issue, I know why we call tethers tethers. But just to remind people, when I think of the word tether, those are people, like Rashad just explained, people that undermine us, people that talk about our culture, people that come here and they're only Black when it supports them. You get what I'm saying? We all understand that. And, some of us have been, have understood this for years, believe it or not. Like some of you may not know Sharice. So I kind of want to break that down. And I also do want to talk about, back when she was a Trump supporter, please understand, Sharice was to the point where she was wearing Make America Great Again hats. You know what I mean? A lot of us black people, we were conservative, but we didn't necessarily, go that far per se. Now, what I will say is even on her journey of being a Candace Owens conservative, now I myself have said that the conservative principles that Candace Owens talks about, yes, they do empower us as Black Americans. But do y'all realize ever since she made that tweet about how she was Jamaican and it undermined Black Americans, everything clicked. Her animosity for Black Americans and her hate towards us is the reason that she doesn't give us the tips about conservatism in a way to help us. She does it in the anti-Black way that almost a white supremacist would do it. Do y'all understand? There's duality in this. And that is what
hold on. My bad. I think she said St. Thomas. She definitely didn't say Jamaica.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't need her to be Jamaican at all either.
I don't know other cultures. My bad. I thought St. Thomas was Caribbean, actually.
Somewhere over there, but definitely not Jamaica.
Yeah.
Well, her from Jamaica, but anyways, child, go ahead.
She's a Caribbean. So honestly, from that moment, and I don't want to get too deep into Candace. I thought she came on as her grandfather was a slave. Do y'all remember that? And that's what was so crazy because Candace Owens has switched up too. So you have to look at the nuance of that. When the thing that I noticed about you're right.
You're breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So you're right. Sharice at one point did not, support reparations, which I explained the importance to her. I've always looked at Sharice as kind of a little sister. Like I know her on and offline. So for the last few, what I from Sharice,
J.O., you going in and out, girl. Like in and out. I can't hear you clearly.
Oh Lord, let me go to another part. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Better?
Yeah.
Better?
I say leave and come back. No, I still hear it. It's like a robotic sound.
Okay, I'm gonna leave and come back.
Okay. I'm gonna let Marty. Who's Marty? Who's Marty Luther King? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So the whole thing about the Black American and half Black American shit, it's not the fact that, it's not even a blood thing. It's literally just how you're raised. I think like even being against reparations, right? I couldn't even imagine what that thing was like. You know what I mean? That shit has to be crazy because it's like a generational fight. Like even telling my mother, my father, I'm against reparations would like get me like slapped the fuck up. Like,
yes,
I don't even know how you could even like.
Quick thing, Martyr. Okay, yes, I was raised Black American, in Black American culture, but my people, they never mention reparations either. Even when it comes to that conversation, even when it comes to that conversation, a lot of them don't mention reparations. I had to educate myself on that.
It's not about mentioning reparations. There's something about being raised in this community that you just know something's wrong.
Well, okay.
Like that's not so like that makes you sus to me. Not
no, I'm making sus because you're generalizing.
That's not true. Yeah, you're generalizing OD because I have fully Black American a mom and uncles who don't believe in reparations, and I've had to like get in their ass about it. So it's not true that based on you grow up and you're like something's wrong, but there are people who are indoctrinated to work this life and play this stupid ass Hunger Games, and so that is not true. And it's you have to break away from the mental slavery first before you can even start to think about the reparations and the repair that our people are owed. So my grandfather was a sharecropper since the age of 4 in Newberry, South Carolina. My mother know that. My uncles know that. His sons know that. They still don't believe in reparations. So you really got to educate people. But anyways, I'll unmute.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and don't take it offensively. You're also half, so your shit is also like I don't even know what to say about that. So like you're telling me something which you went through.
So here you are.
I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
I'm not gonna mute you, but I am gonna speak because we started the space and we explained our upbringing. And so if you weren't
That's
Literally.
here for that
fine.
part,
That's fine. I'm not
no,
saying it's
so you
bad.
literally no. You started off your argument by saying it depends
That's
on
not
how
an
you were
argument.
raised.
I didn't come here to
And
argue.
we
So
and we both
we
said we were
literally,
raised by Black American side. You're
What does
not
that? What
listening
does that
at
yeah,
all.
you're
mean to
not
me? What do
listening.
you like? What does that mean?
Child, we literally got in this room and we both explained our upbringing. So see, I think the problem that a lot of people are having is that you're assuming that I and Sharice, we know Jamaican culture because we are representing the lineage. You can have lineage and not know shit about the culture. My culture has been ethnically Black since the day I was born because I was raised by my Black American mother and her parents. So how are you going to tell me that something's off with me just because of my lineage? Like, you are not the dictator of who my mother slept with, like, at the end of the day.
Literally. Like, do y'all I'll let y'all say something if you can create a time machine, go back in time and tell my mama, don't sleep with that Jamaican man. Don't marry him and sleep with him. Don't give yourself up to him. I'll give you a credit if you say that. But at the end of the day, y'all acting like we chose our parents. We did not. We did not tell our parents we did not tell our mothers who to marry and lay down with and get pregnant by. Let's be realistic.
Well, I never said. First of all, I never said there was something wrong with you. I said you sound sus. I never said there's something wrong with you. I never said that on my mouth. First of all. Second of all, there is something though. There's something about being Black American, knowing you're Black American, not knowing I'm half anything. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. I'm not saying you're wrong being half Jamaican. It's like it's a sin. I'm simply saying there's a difference. Like the connection that we have to it. I've never known anything else. I've never known anything else. You've always known since you were Jamaican. You always known that since you were
I've
young.
always known I was
You've
Jamaican, and
always known.
yet I
You've always
wasn't taught
known.
the
It's
culture.
not about
So
that.
that
It's not
doesn't
about
even
that.
matter.
It does matter. It does
It does
matter. I'm
not
telling you, it
matter.
does matter. It does matter.
Because
It's
even
not
even when I
bad.
said no,
It's not
even when
bad.
I
I didn't
said
say
my
it's
dad was
bad.
brought over here when he was 3, he didn't even know the culture like that. How can I
He's
know the culture when he don't
you've
even know it?
known. Listen, you've known since you were young that you were half Jamaican. All I'm saying is that there's a difference. You don't gotta accept it. You
please,
don't gotta
no,
like
no, no,
it.
no, no. Explain the difference. What are
What do
you
you?
talking about? What are you
The
saying?
difference in what you're seeing, the difference in this is
No,
all I
Huh?
am.
no,
We were
no,
raised in
no.
Black American culture, so what are we
I
seeing
it,
that's different from
What's
the
the
average
difference?
Black American?
you can break somebody from Nigeria right now and raise them in Black American culture. They know they're Nigerian. They know there's a
No, but
piece to
see,
them
that's
that's
the
not
difference that
whole.
we're telling you.
What's it
If a
like? Just
Nigerian American child, a Nigerian American immigrant child, is raised by one Nigerian person or two Nigerian parents, they have Nigerian culture. We're telling you that we were raised by
that's
our
not true. That's
mothers.
not
We
true
were
at
telling,
all.
yes, it is true. They'll have
That's
Yes, it
not
Nigerian
true.
culture,
is.
and they will also
Listen,
be. They will have Nigerian. I don't want to yell. They will have Nigerian culture, and they will also have. They will claim to have Black American culture because they grew up here. We're telling you that we were raised by our
I hear
mothers.
you. Bam, I'll give you an example. Bam Adebayo, he's an NBA player. He's half Nigerian. He's half African American, right? Now, at the end of the day, he don't know his Nigerian father because he left or whatever, right? He still knows he's Nigerian. He still knows there are people that he is also a part of. So you're saying if you're, oh, I'm half Black American, so like I have the same experience, and no, it's not the same. I've never been
Please
anything
tell
else.
me. Please tell me. Please tell me the issue that you have.
There's no issue. I'm just trying to say
Okay,
what's the
goodbye.
point?
All right, you don't have an issue. Let me remove you. You don't
Dumbass
have an
bitch.
issue. That doesn't make any sense. Go ahead, Jaya.
Okay, so I don't know how much y'all heard, but I'll just kind of start over. I do find it very interesting how instead of kind of let somebody speak that knows Sharice in real life, you're kind of assuming things about her. When I was in the middle of kind of speaking to that, again, I was around, before I knew Sharice, and I would see her get a lot of flack for, the Trump hat, but looking a little deeper, because I am someone that tends not to try to, analyze things on a surface level. Sometimes you might miss certain things. So as I started to look deeper into what she was talking about, right, she's advocating for 2A. She's talking about abortion rights. Like, I'm talking years before anyone really picked up on it. So I've always been very aware that everything Sharice stands for is in advocating for Black Americans, our empowerment. not. So I feel like when it comes to lineage, you have to take people by a case by case basis. Sharice, a lot of people do not know you were only raised by, your Black American side. So she's not necessarily someone that, is necessarily an anchor baby. And the fact that, they may have came over from Jamaica or even been here one generation and were raised by two Jamaican parents in that culture, because we've seen that before. And we see how those people tend to treat us, whether it is their superiority complex, their, oh, I've been here and my parents just got off the boat and we just made $1 million. Why can't you? She's never been on that type of tether type of stuff. So I think when we do talk about tethers, I think we have to be very clear what that is. And we have to look at people's fruits, knowing that being that I've known Sharice for years on and off of this app, which she is a, very loyal, very genuine soul, along with other people that I know on the app. I think what we could all kind of work on, maybe as a community, just as a people, instead of assuming maybe what somebody has done, ask them, like, and on a real basis, like ask them, have a conversation, because a lot of you don't know that every time she's been visible, Sharice has been on news stations. She's advocated for reparations. Like, you can say that, okay, she wasn't advocating at first, she got hip to why we were advocating for reparations, and she has been bringing it up ever since. Anytime she gets visibility, anytime she is in an article, she's always advocating for Black Americans. So it would be one thing, right, if she came on the scene talking about her, Jamaican side and how, her parents look down on Black Americans. I just have personally, because I know her a little bit more than people that have just seen her online, it might take, bits and clips of her time capsuled. Some of us have been on Twitter for so long that you can take little bits and clips and it's a time capsule. If you go to some deeper tweets, she's actually disavowed Candace Owens. Now, if you guys know Sharice on a deep level, she kind of got like segued out of the conservative, grassroots circle for advocating for Black Americans.
Yes.
So when I say
Absolutely.
she has really like sacrificed, I mean, kind of, her own status in a way for the rights of Black Americans, I truly mean that. So again, I will just go ahead and end it with, if you feel like you might need to know like where people come into this. I mean, I have known Sharice. I've known some of y'all for years, on and off this app. And I do appreciate that those of us that came together and kind of, meet up in person and we get to know each other on a deeper level. I feel like sometimes, we tend to just not judge things on a surface level. And I think it gets you farther. And I would just tell each and every one of you, if you have questions, maybe get to know people as opposed to assuming their journey in this life, because we really don't know unless we ask.
Thank you for that. And like I said again, you guys, it's never been a mystery that I used to, my Candace Owens era, I used to spew some real horrible anti-Black American stuff, and I've admitted that I regret following her and what she stood for, because at the end of the day, it's never really been for the promotion of Black Americans. It's been for the promotion of her pockets, and you guys see that. But yeah, people can always grow. I've always been open to learning and to growing, and that's why I am a big advocate for Black Americans now, and for reparations, and yeah. So thank you for
And also, just for
stating that.
context, I just want to say for context, y'all, I am fully Black American. But, again, if Sharice was a certain way, if she did not advocate for, relationship with her own race, to a rights to protect us as Black people, like she rides for her people. And I don't know if it's like, again, a perception thing, because, maybe it is easy to look at Sharice and maybe certain things that she says, people think she's, dated white men. I'm talking like some
And I
people.
have never,
And
and
this is the thing.
people have told me, people have said, you have divested, you've been, I've never even been with a white man. I wouldn't dare. So you trying to put this on me, saying that I'm a divester, or she's a secret divester. Never in my life. Never in my
But
life.
see, the
Go
thing,
ahead.
Sharice, is when people do know you in real life. Like, for instance, I've been in 3 relationships in my life that people know me offline, and I've only been with Black men. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think that the truth stands the test of time. I think that at the end of the day, if you were a divester, if you were if you were all these things, I would not have seen through that to see you and see who you are. So again, knowing Sharice on a deeper level, I just think a lot of people get it wrong about her. And if you guys want to know people on a deeper level, then ask those questions. If you don't, let it rock. Like, you may not like everything about a person, but you don't necessarily have to speak on it, because that's when the wars start and people start throwing shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't all have to like everything. And then the last thing I will say, who am I to tell you not to honor your Jamaican side? Because let's look at it this way, y'all. If she came in on the tip of like not saying she was Jamaican, if y'all found that out, right, then that would be like, oh, she was dishonest. Now, there's some people on this app, you gotta not, you may find out things the other way, but she's telling you I'm a Jamaican Black American, but she upholds her Black American side when it comes to principles. So if you can't respect that, I don't know why. I don't know.
Yep. Go ahead, Kedar.
Hey, what up, though? What's going on, everybody? I ain't been on these spaces in a while, so I
Me
chop it up.
neither.
But yeah, but this one right here did resonate with me because I'm half Black American, half Jamaican. Same way like Kadira and Sharice. You know what I'm saying? Like, my pops moved here when he was a kid. My mom's fully Black American. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna put it like this though. See, I'm on the other side of the game though. To be honest with y'all, like my mama's side of the family, like, we deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mama's side of the family influenced. I don't want to speak on who we are, but we influenced a lot of my peoples. You know what I'm saying? My great uncles and all them influenced a lot of Black Americans on a pro-Black level. Like, my people was very pro-Black, like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And my people also introduced a lot of our people, Black Americans, into the information of the fact that we, a lot of our ancestors were already indigenous, been here. You know what I'm saying? My people, you know what I'm saying, trace back to the Yamasees, all that. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about me is, like, I was raised, my pops was in my life, but you know what I'm saying, my pops and my mom's divorced when I was like a kid. I was mostly raised by my mom's and, you know what I'm saying, on my mama's side. So that's really how I grew up. That's all I really knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I knew that I was Jamaican too, but I never really tapped into that side that much. But I would visit my grandma, you know what I'm saying, my pop's mama, you know what I'm saying, eat me a little oxtail. Then I go back to my other grandma on my mama's side, and she make oxtail too, the Black American way. So I knew both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, when motherfuckers talk that
Right? And
oxtail shit.
you my cousin out of South Carolina. Right? You from South Carolina?
No. I ain't from
I
South
I
Carolina, but
have family there.
No?
my grandma and them from my great grandma and them from South Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
What
So
what
Right.
part?
That's
Because
I'm
what I
some of
from
my
remember you
people from
from.
Orangeburg in South Carolina.
Yeah. I don't even know. Really, it's like a couple of different areas down there. I ain't really tapped in that much. You know what I'm saying? I stay in Detroit, like, you know what I'm saying, and I don't really go down there like that, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? But and then we not only South Carolina, but we all throughout like different parts of Georgia too. So but my thing is this. I'm gonna just put it out here like this, like, you got to really look at you got to look at an individual, you know what I'm saying, before you like make a judgment on somebody, based on whatever, as far as their lineage or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's just about where you at with it. Because at the end of the day, like, when I think of tethers, the bottom line is, to me, that's somebody who is trying to undermine Black Americans that came from somewhere else. And me, you know what I'm saying, being half Jamaican, like, I've experienced some shit in my on not necessarily my Jamaican side of my family, but other Jamaicans who kind of looked at me like, oh, y'all Yankee boys or whatever. Me, you know what I'm saying? Me and my brothers and them, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I seen some shit go down like that, you know what I'm saying? And, like, at the end of the day, the way I grew up, like, I never looked at shit that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my people was always pro-Black. Matter of fact, we've been advocating for reparations since before motherfuckers even knew what the fuck a reparations was. Like, real facts. When I was a kid, my people made me read the autobiography of Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? Made me read Dr. Cress Wilson. Like, I knew I've been on this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's good to see people. For me personally, I'm not the kind of person to be like, oh, y'all just now waking up, you know what I'm saying? Or treating the sheep, putting y'all on game. Me personally, I'm like, hey, wake up sooner, you know what I'm saying? Now, later, whenever. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm like, hey, the sooner the better, as long as people waking up, you know what I'm saying? But for me personally, I've been there. I've been hip to all this shit. I've been knowing what's going on. And for me, I feel like you got to just see who the person is, because if that's the case, because I feel like people like to try to dismiss those of us who are half and half, or whatever you want to call it, half breed or whatever,
By
you know what I'm saying?
ethnic, that's the new term, by ethnic.
Okay, by ethnic, right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but at the end of the day, like, if that's the case, then you wouldn't have no Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? Who, to me personally, is one of the rawest, realest niggas ever that ever lived. You know what I'm saying? And this man was by ethnic too. And on top of that, even more recently, you can look at Nipsey Hussle, you know what I'm saying? And that's a real one right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he held it down. He put it down for the community. He got kids in STEM program. He did shit for the community, you know what I'm saying, for Black Americans. And his pops was from Ethiopia. His mama was Black American, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, for me personally, I just feel like it's how you was raised and the culture that you grew up in. I don't really know my Jamaican culture that well, but when I was a kid, I did visit Jamaica once, you know what I'm saying? Me and my brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? And we like, yo, the island was great, you know what I'm saying? And guess what? I love that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because my pop introduced me to some to the Whalers, you know what I'm saying? That's associated with Bob Marley and all that. So, like, you know what I'm saying? It tapped me into some shit I wasn't really hip to, like, as far as Jamaican history, you know what I'm saying? So it made me see another side of myself, like, okay, that's what's up. But I didn't really resonate that much with it because I'm here, I'm born and raised here, this is where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? This is where we at, you know what I'm saying? This is what it is. But I just want to put it out there. At the end of the day, though, I'm still, my main thing is this, if you are an immigrant or first generation, second generation, you know what I'm saying? My thing is, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Tap into what's really going on here in America. You on the soil. Don't undermine the people that built this, that made this what it is. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, unfortunately, like, I just see that these so-called diaspora wars, whatever, a lot of that vitriol was coming from foreigners, you know what I'm saying, kind of disrespecting Black American culture, and that's the word that you get, like, oh, y'all ain't got no culture, that kind of thing. So this is more like a backlash. So that's why I don't trip on it. And I done had a couple motherfuckers on this app try to tell me, because I told them, yeah, you know what I'm saying, my pops from Jamaica, you know what I'm saying, I'm half and half, call me an anchor baby. I never even heard that term a day in my life till I got on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really in these streets for real. So,
Me either.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, huh? What the hell is an anchor
Exactly.
baby? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was
My Black
tripping, like,
American
huh?
family ain't
Like,
never called me no immigrant.
I'm talking about, like, I ain't a lot of shit I never even heard of till I be just peeping game on this app. Like, okay, because in these streets, that's not how it's going down.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm a thick
I can
skinned guy.
agree.
I don't trip on that type of shit though either.
I
You
can
know what
agree
I'm
with
saying?
you to an extent. Like, I can understand why a lot of Black Americans, when it comes to, like, defending our people, I can understand where they're coming from. But at the same time, don't take it too far and try to kick people and boot people who are actually standing for Black Americans and standing for reparations for Black Americans. Don't do that. Don't try to kick us aside, because we are the ones that are the allies and can educate other people that's in the diaspora to support it and to stand for Black American rights. Don't boot us. Don't do that.
See, the thing about me is,
I
like,
also
I don't
want
even
to
look at
say
myself.
too,
What'd you say?
No, I was just gonna say, the thing about me is, like, I don't even look at myself as, like, no ally, none of that shit. Like, I don't even, it's like, to me, that's like an outsider. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm all the way in. So when I see somebody cut to me like that, just because, you know what I'm saying? Okay, my pops from Jamaica, yeah, but you don't know my mama's side. You don't know my mama family. You know what I'm saying? But really, you do. But I ain't told you who they was. And if you did, I did tell you, you'll look at it and say, oh, damn, my bad. You feel me? Because you don't know who people really is just because somebody said, you know what I'm saying, they might be half this or half that. You got to really see who they are as an individual, how they coming, you know what I'm saying, what they representing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, and that's how I roll. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that know me know what I'm on and what type of time I'm on. You know what I'm saying? It's all about Black American, pushing the movement, you know what I'm saying, making sure we get what's due, debt owed to our ancestors' blood, sweat, and tears. We built this shit, facts on facts. But at the same time, much love to my Jamaican side and what they went through too. You know what I'm saying? Because I learned a few things, but it took me time because I didn't grow up in the culture.
Right.
In that
and
culture.
I still don't know much. I haven't even been out. I gotta get my passport. I haven't even been out the country yet. I haven't even been able to visit my where my dad is from. But anyways, I want to say
I haven't
before.
visited it.
Right. before anybody else go, I want to say, I think that a lot of us have lost sight of the end goal, and it's not. Hold on, I'm on the phone, and it's not. It's Grandma. I'm on the phone. Where's my red basket? Hold on, y'all. Okay, sorry. That's my Black American grandma, y'all. Anyways, I think that we've lost sight of the end goal, and that is reparations for Black Americans, and that is to honor Black Americans and the people who have built this country. And it's not to call people who are bi-ethnic tethers and dusty bummy immigrant Negroes. That's just not it. I think we've really lost sight of the end goal. Sorry for that interruption.
No, it's all good. What I also just wanted to add was I resonate with you, Kedar, because I definitely had to read Asada Shakur books. I remember having to do a book report on Asada Shakur in third grade. Like my family really put me into deep history. And I could talk about them, but I won't. A lot of people want to speak. So I am Rashad. Just because you spoke already, I'm gonna let some of these other people speak first. So I am Desire. Go ahead.
Thank you for welcoming me to the stage and allowing me to speak. My sister Tamora had plugged me in with you guys in this space, so I'm honored to be here. It is just really sickening, and it breaks my heart whenever I see our people on these social sites bashing other Black people that look like them because they're not from America, which is so crazy to me. Because none of us are really from here. A lot of us were bought here, or our ancestors at least were bought here and made slaves here. Nonetheless, I was married for 23 years. My ex-husband is African. My children were born here and they are Black Americans, or I'm not buying that ethnic, what you call it, double ethnic or bi-ethnic. No, no. Be mad about it. I'm gonna get American reparations. I'm gonna get some African reparations. I'm gonna go get some Jamaican reparations too, because my grandfather on my mama's side is Jamaican. So I'm gonna go get some of that. And then I'm gonna go back and go get some from Portugal, because my mama's mama is Portuguese. So y'all just gonna have to be mad. And I'm repping Black. I'm Black all day, every day, and so are my children. My 15-year-old was walking by and he was hearing little bits and pieces, and he was like, "Wait a minute, Mom. Are these adults saying that Black people born in America are not Black American?" I'm like, "Yes, baby." He was like, "Wow, some adults are really crazy," and I'm like, "Yes, baby." Some adults really are crazy, but this is life. But I love all my people. I love all you Black people in this whole entire room, in the universe, whether you hate me or not, whether you hate my sisters who are Haitians, Jamaicans, Africans, or whatever, my children, whatever. We're going to get all these reparations. Like I said, we're going to get some from Haiti. We're going to get some from Jamaica, Portugal, and then we coming back and get these here in America too. Y'all going to be all right, though. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Mel.
Hey, yeah, Sharif. I saw a tweet where you said in Florida you seem cooler if you got Caribbean descent. Well, I believe that's cap because I've never even met a. I went to school in Florida. I ain't never even met a Caribbean in Florida, so I never heard nor seen that. I never seen that in real life. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'm not done. I never been called in a kata in person. September and October, we gonna be in these streets for real. So anybody who got a problem, y'all can see us. But Sharice, that tweet you said was a damn lie. You know that's a lie. I'm from
You
Florida.
you went to school in Florida, but did you grow
Hold
up in
on, hold
Florida?
on. Can I
Hold on, let me
interject
finish.
real
Let
quick?
me land.
Hold on. Can I interject real quick because
What?
I really do feel like I agree with the tweet. Hold on. Can I interject real quick
Yeah.
because what part of Florida are you from, Mel?
I'm from West Florida, but that tweet said all of Florida. That tweet didn't say South Florida. It said Florida. I'm
I'm
from
from
Florida.
I'm from
Both
Central
sides.
Florida, and it
Okay,
is
but
the trend.
that's not what you put in the tweet though. That tweet said Florida. I'll put it in the jumbotron if you need me to.
Okay.
No, put it in the
I'm,
jumbotron because I'm gonna break down the tweet because I don't think that she said anything
Yeah,
wrong.
I'm
What she
not
said was
wrong.
in
It
her
is a trend.
experience and in New York
and
as
not in North
well.
Florida.
What she said
Not
was,
in, not in
but
West Florida. It's not a trend.
but
North Florida
but
is
you're
full
not
of
willing
Black
to listen though.
Americans.
You're not.
Exactly.
You're not.
That's my
I'm
point.
from
All right,
Central
but you're not.
Florida. You're
But
not
you're not
from
willing
North.
to
You're not from
listen.
Central
That's
Florida
not
or
what the
South
tweet
Florida.
said. That's not what the tweet said.
Okay, then I made a discrepancy. I was born in Central Florida, so of course I'm gonna put Florida. I should have been more specific, sure, but what
No,
I said wasn't a lie.
as an American Negro on both sides of my family, that tweet is incorrect. That tweet is incorrect.
No,
In
I
your
think
experience,
you're not willing to listen because in my experience in New York, there are plenty of half Black American and half whatever else who will rather rep their whatever else side because it's cooler, because it seems foreign. And that's what I took from her tweet. And I think Sharice understands that it's she's repping both of her sides, and she's bigging up her Black American side because she wants people to know that the other side is not cooler, and rather Black Americans are cool too. That's what I took from the tweet. I didn't see it as her saying the other side is better.
yeah, I tweeted that from experience. Even when it comes to me living in Central Florida, I would have people coming up to me, and I hate this. I've spoken on this as well. I would have people coming up to me saying, "Where are you mixed with?" And I say I'm Black. I say I'm Black American. They say, that can't be it. That just can't be it." And I say, "Okay, well, my mom's side is Black American, my dad's side is Jamaican." They'll be like, "Oh, okay, that's what it is. You look foreign." So it is a trend in Florida. It is a trend in Florida,
Not in all Florida.
to say that that basically to have the flag, and that's why I had the flag in my bio originally. I had the Jamaican and the American flag in my bio before I took it off and then put it back on. But I had it in there in the beginning because yes, it is a trend, to raise up that Caribbean side, because Florida is full of Caribbean culture. Now the north side of the north part of Florida, I'm not from the north part of Florida. I don't live there, so of course I'm not going to know the culture up there. But the majority of people in Florida, yes, that is the culture, and I wasn't lying about
What's
that.
the
I
culture?
wasn't capping about that. Yes, that is my
All
experience.
right. Where I'm from, Marietta, Florida, I ain't never even met a Caribbean. It ain't nothing but
Okay, well
FBA.
that's
I'm from.
you.
You can't say all of Florida. You can't say all of
Okay,
Florida.
that was a discrepancy on my part. I
Okay.
should
All
All
have.
right,
right.
wait, hold
Maybe I
on.
should have
All
just
right,
said
hold on,
Central
hold on,
Florida
hold
and
on.
South
Let's
Florida.
Yeah,
But
all
you
right. So
can't.
let's
Don't call me no capper,
yeah,
because
That
let's
I
get
ain't
that
into the
lie.
statement,
topic.
that
Hold
tweet
on,
is cat.
Mel, that's her experience. Like that's her experience. Like I don't know what else you want me to say. That's her experience. I've also experienced it too in New York. People would literally, like, I literally had to go to the courthouse the other day for my father's estate, and some guy was like, "What are you?" And I said, "Black American." And no, it's something else. And literally
Literally.
he saw on my father's death certificate that he was Jamaican descent. He was like, "Oh, that's what it is." So I mean, it's like it's her experience. But Mel, can you please just address the title? Do you have issues with anyone who's Black, half Black American? And if you do have an issue, what's the issue?
I have no issue. My issue is with that tweet because she representing Florida.
Okay, that's the only thing you came in
Be
here for.
specific.
That's really irrelevant, because that is my
No,
experience,
hell no.
and a lot of other people that's Black, have Black American, have whatever, can testify that that's their experience as well. We just told you.
You lying on my state,
We
bro.
have
You lying
people,
on my
huh?
state. You was lying on my whole state, bro. That's cap. That's all I'm saying.
Bro,
You lying
you're not
on my
even from the whole state. You're from one part of the
It
state.
don't
You
matter.
So
own
how
the
can you say
state?
that I'm
Hey,
lying?
your
I
tweet
have
is the
people.
Do you
I
own
have
the
family.
read your tweet, but read your tweet.
I have family that has been in Florida for generations. So how can I be lying about this? This is my experience. Of course, maybe I should have specified where exactly in Florida, but I'm not from North Florida, so I don't know the culture up there. I know that there are a lot of Black Americans, but I don't know the full culture in North Florida. So if you're from North Florida, sure, I'm lying. I'm lying, but maybe on your part, but in Central Florida, I've stated my experience on the matter. Um, Obviously he just came in here to argue. I mean, that wasn't even what the title was about. But anyways,
Yeah. I feel like he said he didn't have a problem. So
so what was
really
even the
this
point? Like, you
the
calling me a
problem,
liar when that's my experience.
right?
I've tweeted about it several times. Like you said, and like I said, I have people coming up to me all the time talking about what you mix with. So yes, it's a trend, because you're seen as cooler when you say that you have something else other than Black American.
And I would
but
just like
but
to speak to that because as a Black American, I get that sometimes. People are always reaching like, what are you mixed with? Black, what's your nationality? Black American. Like, people are always looking for that, and I don't know what it is about people, but they do. They want to make you something else. I am Black American, ADOS, FBA, whatever you want to say. I'm just a Black American, bro. And like, you're not going to try to make me something else. But I've seen that trend. Has anybody in this room not seen that? Because people do it to me all the time, and it's weird. Blacks mixed with Black American mixed with Black American, no other ethnicity, not mixed with anything.
Like, even like my cousins from Philly, they're light skinned with freckles and green eyes, and people ask them all the time, what are they mixed with? And they are fully Black American, light skinned girls, green eyes, freckles, red hair. So it's like, I saw the tweet as her saying that there's people who are both, and they will big up their other side. I have a friend, well, childhood friend, we're not real friends, but I have a homegirl from my childhood who's Guyanese and Black American. You ask this girl what she is, she's gonna tell you Guyanese and Guyanese only. And I think that is and she always will say, like, Guyanese girls this, and it's like, girl, you're not just Guyanese. So she's always gonna big up her Guyanese side because it's foreign. And I took the tweet as Cherie saying, no, that side is not cool. Black Americans are cool too, so I big up both sides.
And what's crazy?
The tweet. Hold on, before you go, the tweet was basically saying how before I took out the Jamaican flag in my bio, that's the reason I had it in. That's the first time. The first time I had it in is that's the reason I had it in. I put it back in because people were saying that I'm a hypocrite and that I'm lying about my lineage and I'm trying to hide the other side. So that's why I put the flag back in my bio. So nobody can say that I'm a liar and that I'm trying to hide my other side.
And Sharice, the reason why I put the Jamaican flag in my bio was because I ran into your profile, because I actually didn't have any flags in my bio, but then when I was speaking spaces, people would be like, oh, you're actually Jamaican, this Jamaican girl. And I was like, what? So let me put both in my bio. So I put both in my bio because I saw your page, and I was like, oh, I'm not the only one. But I never felt the need to put any flag in my bio, to be honest. But that's just that.
I just want to say something though, like, well, for me, I never had no flags in my bio. I just ain't into that shit. But as far as the like, see, thing is for me, like, I guess I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I never even tried to make it like I'm some kind of exotic nigga because I'm half Jamaican or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just never even. I always been, yeah, I'm Black, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen that trend. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Detroit. Like, we blackest city in the country. You know what I'm saying? But we got a small Jamaican, you know what I'm saying, Caribbean community here too. You know what I'm saying? I got some Jamaican people here too. And I got a couple people that's like half Jamaican. I seen where people might want to try to put that out there. Like, I feel like it's more like a trend. It's like cool to be foreign. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, like it was like a whole fucking decade of foreign this, foreign that. Think about the rap game. Like, that's all niggas was talking about. So I feel like that's what influenced that. But for me personally, that never was even a thing for me. Like, motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, would look at me and be like, oh, bro, no, dog, you know what I'm saying? Then I, yeah, my pop's Jamaican. Then, oh, okay. But, you know what I'm saying, for me personally, that never was something that I just, you know what I'm saying, felt like I was some, you know what I'm saying, special exotic nigga or some shit. Like, I don't know where that came from, but I feel like that's basically like a fad or some shit.
Right. Like, I tell people I'm regular Black. Isn't that what that
Literally.
Nigerian? I'd be like, I'm regular Black. Like,
they'll be like, you have to be foreign. You have to be mixed with something. You look so foreign. You look so exotic. If you don't, I'm Black. Just chill. I'm Black. What is Black not exotic enough for y'all? I don't really understand.
All right. Go ahead, Court. I am Desiree. I'm gonna put you down only because there's so many people that want to speak, and I do want people to go at least one time.
We have like an hour as well, but you have to go in like an hour.
Yeah, we're not staying on this long.
It's okay.
I really want to hear
it's Desire, not
oh, sorry, Desire. Sorry.
I was just quickly gonna say, as somebody who has, I guess, Black American lineage or whatever you want to call it, and my greats have lived in Texas forever, but I'm also multi-ethnic, meaning that, like, I have ancestors that are from Africa, that are from the Caribbean. I just simply don't believe that, like, all these Black Americans that are just like, oh, my people are from America. I don't think that that's true. I know people are not gonna like it, but it's okay to be multi-ethnic. It's okay to have African or Caribbean ancestors. It's not gonna harm you. It's like way down your lineage. But this whole notion that like, oh, we're just all Black American, we're indigenous. I don't think that's true. But I guess believe what you want when it comes to that. I think that's pretty ridiculous. Like you're trying to tell me your enslaved ancestors were just here.
No, I
Well,
I
think
yeah,
don't
there is
no,
some
believe it.
truth
that's
to it.
facts.
I understand what you're saying, but I think there is some truth to it. There were Black people here before
I can show you. I
slavery
got
Yes,
proof of that.
started,
I can show you
and
proof.
so I
I
believe that
agree.
those
There,
mix with the people that were enslaved, and you have Black Americans now. But to say, I don't know, to say that there weren't Black people here before, I don't think that that's necessarily true.
That's definitely
Nah, there
not
were
I
true.
people
I
here.
agree with their saying.
There
Like
were
I
people
agree with
here.
that.
The issue is
We have
the
indigenous
thing
Black people that were here before.
no, it's very in depth though. Like what people don't know is that they took Black Indians from Massachusetts and they shipped them off to the Bahamas. Then they brought them people back. Then they brought them people back. They put people back and forth, and so there's a lot of enslaved persons coming from different islands. They would
Intra-American
take a
slavery. They
Jamaican,
don't talk about the
right,
intra-American
intra-American,
slave trade. I
right,
got records
right.
of them
So
shipping slaves from Belize, South America, up to this
right,
motherfucker. Like that was going
up
on a lot.
up to here, right? That happened a lot. So if there is going to be that multi-ethnic lineage, then it's there. But it doesn't mean just because you have an ancestor who may be from somewhere else, it doesn't mean that you are ethnically that person because you grew up in your ethnic culture on this land, if that makes sense. So when I say I have Jamaican lineage, I have Jamaican lineage by way of my father, but I wasn't raised as a Jamaican. I don't speak patois. I don't know how to cook stew chicken, curry chicken, oxtail rice, and peas. I don't know Jamaican slang. I don't know Jamaican culture. I had to learn that shit on YouTube, and I had to listen closer to my grandmother. So I think yes, yeah, there may be some ancestors from all over. But when you're ethnically a certain culture, which me and Sharice, we're trying to tell y'all, and Kidar, we're trying to tell y'all that we are ethnically Black American. Like we grew up on our mama's side. Like these are the people that raised us, and whether you like it or not, we're still going to big up both our lineages. So I don't want to rant because I do want people to go. But thank you, Court. Go ahead, Shanta Hayes Johnson.
Hi, yeah, my name is Shantae, and this is my first time speaking in a space actually, but I'm compelled to join the conversation because I actually had this conversation 3 days ago with my daughter. So I am a Black American. However you want to categorize it, I am that. I do have lineage traces that my family has done from over the years, and I've heard from them. I had the pleasure of having my grandparents on both sides to kind of know where I come from, which is here in the US. However, 25 years ago, I had a daughter with a Jamaican man whose father immigrated into the States. He was born there, and of course we had our daughter. So this term anchor baby is very emotional. I can tell, especially with my own daughter. So, for all of you in here that do have, two different lineages together, I applaud you for standing up and speaking out on how you feel. But at the same time, I just wanted to, give some information just as a mother to a daughter in your same boat. Like you were saying, you didn't know the language and you found out everything on YouTube, and you don't, necessarily know because you was raised here. My daughter is in the same situation. And it is very hurtful that now, Anchor Baby is being, put upon her. And when the term came to me and my husband, of course, both of us being, I guess, Black Americans, um, we started having a conversation in our house, not realizing that, with her having a dual allegiance, let's just call it that, to two different, lineages, because that is what it is. Because although you may not, know the lineage, your immediate ancestor of that lineage. and you have that love of that ancestor and the cultures and the small things that they've shared with you enough to say that is me. But you have a overwhelming, you know, understanding of being here in America and being a Black American. And my daughter also gets, oh, what are you mixed with? What do you? She was racially ambiguous up until she took a trip to Disneyland and tanned. Okay, so so I kind of get that, and I want to, you know, tell you guys that, you know, yes, stand up and say who you are, but at the same time, there's different parts of the conversation that you can't really speak on because it brings out a defense mechanism in you, because there is a dual allegiance there, because it may not be you that are saying any of this negative rhetoric, but it's someone that you know. It's, you know, that people in your family
And
may
we
feel
correct
that
them.
way.
And we correct them.
Yeah,
I
I
have.
know. I know, but and that's what I applaud you on, is the fact that you do. But
I don't have
when
any
you
allegiance
correct
to
them,
Jamaica.
let me just say, but when
Yeah,
you
we
correct them, when you,
I
but when
have
you,
Jamaican lineage. Like, I need y'all to know the difference. I don't have any allegiance to that country. I have Jamaican lineage. There is a difference. I
and
do
that's
not
the
have
word.
any allegiance to Jamaican people. I have allegiance to Black American people, but I have Jamaican lineage. Are you
Right,
guys able
but
to
at the
understand the
same
difference?
time, that, but see, hear me out, and I'm using the same terms you are. My daughter has Jamaican lineage, and lineage is in the blood. It's not a country, it's in the blood. You have a allegiance to your immediate ancestor, your dad, your mom, your grandma, your granddad. You know them.
So let me
No,
ask you a
And
I don't
question.
so,
know them. I
Let me
only know
well,
my
most,
dad
I'm
and
just
my
saying,
grandma.
most
Miss Johnson,
people, uh-huh.
let me ask you a question. Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is what?
That we have Jamaican blood in our blood. Whose
It's
fault is
no
that?
one's fault. I'm just
Because
explaining.
we didn't choose to lay down with Jamaican people. And like
Right. And
did
you
you, and you
see,
but you chose to lay down with somebody that's Jamaican, and now your
right.
daughter has
And that's
dual
why I
allegiance. So
say,
that's
yeah.
not our fault.
But see, you're coming back to me defensive, as I was just saying before you guys chimed in.
I
See,
don't
I'm
think it's
explaining,
defensive, but I'm just
can I
saying it's not our
explain the
fault.
overall, can I explain the overall feeling? And I just wanted to put some of that. I'm not attacking you all. Like I said, I've nurtured a woman that has Jamaican lineage, and I am not ashamed of her. She's beautiful, entrepreneur, and very successful, intelligent, and she has feelings about this topic that we just discussed. So I was just putting some of this in the air. I'm not attacking you, and what really I'm talking about my own situation. So I don't mean
Right.
to say
I
like it's
I didn't
you
mean to get
personally, but
defensive.
I'm
I'm
just saying in
just
the sense of it being the dual allegiance. Now, what I'm
right.
saying with that, there is one in the lineage. Everything now is about a lineage because that's what's real. And so, like I was telling my daughter, even if you guys check or reprimand or address other people when they're saying it, when you come back around other your black family and friends, and they're talking about other people saying it, just it could even be the very well the same people that you just checked, but the overall feeling about it, and it brings in a defense mechanism, because even though we may not be talking about you specifically, it is the people of your lineage, so you take on that. Just like when we black people hear negative things about people who share our same lineage, we're pissed off, right? So it happens to where it feels very defensive. So then it puts you in a situation where now it becomes like an argument. It becomes where instead of like just a conversation or just
Honestly,
a expression.
before you continue, I'll say I don't get defensive with somebody unless they get defensive with me. You come at me, I'm coming at you. That's just point blank. Period. I really try to mind my business on Twitter, tweet what I tweet, and get off because I have a life. And I'm trying to do something with it. So I don't have time to be on Twitter Spaces all the time. Like this is rare for me to do now. I don't have time to be on Twitter Spaces all the time defending my lineage. I tweet what I want to tweet and I get off. So I understand what you're saying, but me, I'm not really like the defensive type. I hate controversy.
Mhm.
So the only reason we're doing this space is because we've been trying to do this for a while. But I've been pushing it back because I've been having things to do. Just came back from an internship in
Mhm.
DC. Had a full-time job, got things to do. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand what you're saying though.
Well, I'll just say this. I love controversy.
Yeah.
I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Like when somebody's, I mean, for me personally, like you say, it's not our fault. That kind of sound like a negative thing. For me, it's like, listen, I love my Jamaican side too. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a beautiful thing. I'm the individual that I am. You know what I'm saying? So if a motherfucker got a problem with it, hey, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, holler at me. We'll discuss. Maybe you can find out who I am for real, and then you might get a different perspective on it. You know what I'm saying?
But why would you think that someone actually has a
Hold
problem
on,
with you?
Shantae, let me just give a quick context, and then I'm gonna go to the next person because we only gonna be here until 6:55.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
running out of time.
so the reason why we think people have a problem is because they keep tweeting at us and calling us anchor baby tether by ethnic squirrels and saying that we can't speak on Black American stuff. Now, Check, you said that earlier, so go ahead, Check.
You said Check said what earlier? Yeah, I said half breeds shouldn't speak for us in response to three different. Do you want to speak?
Well, I just want to say I don't like that term half breed because I am not a
Can I?
biracial
Half
person.
So are
breed.
you
There's
going
a
to
difference
interrupt me
between
the
race
entire
and
time I speak?
ethnicity. No. I just want to say that before you continue. There is a difference between race and ethnicity. I am not a biracial person. I am not a mixed person. I am a Black woman.
Did I
There you
at
go.
you? Oh,
No.
I thought I
Go ahead.
tweeted.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
thank you. But as far as everything else, the tweet was in response to a half Haitian, half Black American. Um, we were describing again lineage, and I'm aware of the difference between races and ethnicity. That's why I use the term by ethnic and by biracial. The problem I really have is not with the individuals, like any random individuals, but the kind of the dual allegiance. And when if it doesn't apply, let it fly. And that's kind of the problem. I feel like whenever we're talking about specific problems, if it affects people or it hurts their feelings, then we feel like we shouldn't talk about it or all problems matter, and that's not right. So as far as this issue, I had a
Hold on,
problem with.
Check.
Can I finish?
Can you be
Can I?
specific? Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
I'm a,
No,
I'm
go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
I'm getting to the. Okay, so she tweeted about pretty much. Um, Her mother is from Haiti. She got her in the 80s, and her father is from here. She's in Louisiana, talking about pretty much as if she's not from here. It's kind of like some type of a seniority complex. And whenever we start speaking about what, yeah,
No, I ain't
superiority.
saying
That's my.
nothing.
I got you. I got you. So as far as everything else, she made a comment about whenever there was Haitian Flag Day, we started speaking about it. She had an issue with that. It's just the things I just kind of noticed that the policing of our culture. Whenever we have something to say, it's like, oh, don't the other in themselves is if they're not us when it's convenient. So I called that out because that issue and any Haitian being in Louisiana, it isn't because you're Haitian. Let's be very clear on that. Two, back in February when an individual named Shan Jor came on this app, when people from Clubhouse came on, I wasn't on Twitter for about 2 weeks. She came up on this app and we were learning a lot about indigenous history and what was going on. And we started talking about genealogy and things of that nature. But the narrative that she was pushing was Black is dead and we should drop the term Black and things of that nature. And we find that completely repulsive and utterly disgusting. And
Check.
it caused it.
Check.
Can I
Check. Hold
finish?
on. I'm sorry.
So I can't.
Because you talking about all these other people and like you speaking to me in spaces a whole lot and you know the type of vibe that I'm on. So I want
Did
to
I
know
say
if
your
you have an issue with me being half Black American, half Jamaican.
I
Yeah,
was invited into
the
the space
the
and
space is on us. Like
okay,
it's
I
on.
got you, but like, I don't know why everybody's so puzzled. When I made my tweet, people got offended. People responded to what I said. I don't think I mentioned anybody. I made a public tweet in
And like
response, and I'm giving you
specifically
the
like
reason
when
why
I
I made
first
the
came
tweet.
on. Okay, no, got it. We got it. It was for somebody else. But
Yeah,
specifically when I first came on Twitter Spaces, there was this Haitian girl coming at me who called me a squirrel in one of your spaces months ago, and you defended me. So for me to see the tweet today and you say half breeds can't speak for us, I'm a little confused because I
Did
thought
I
you wasn't like against me. And so I'm wondering, like, do you have an issue with
did I say I was
me
against?
or
This is what I'm saying. Like again, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Like this is my problem. whenever we're speaking
No, it
about an
applies.
issue,
It
you're
applies.
offended. You're offended by a general statement, and that's what this is, and
Yeah.
that's what happens a lot.
Because I want
Check.
to know. I want Sharice I want to know like your
What
overall ideology. Do
I
you
want to
think that I
say.
can't speak for Black Americans?
You
Hold
want to
on.
know
I
my?
want to say.
How do
Wait.
you want
Wait.
to know my overall
Check.
ideology when you cut me off in the middle of me speaking? I can't even articulate
Check.
myself without you getting offended when we
Check.
finishing my sentence.
Okay, let me say this. I have responded to the tweet because I didn't even look at the time that it was tweeted. So I responded to the tweet thinking you had tweeted that after we had just talked about what we talked about. So at first I thought you was talking about me because I thought it was tweeted after, but I saw it was tweeted like a day ago. So yeah, I know it wasn't about me, but before I did, because we had just had that conversation on Twitter about by ethnic people, I guess. And so I thought you
So
were tweeting that about
yeah,
me.
but
So
it's a
now I see it wasn't about me. So
yeah,
I'm
it's
not.
a ton of people. Do you want me to just name drop? I mean, that can be really
No,
messy, but
no.
it's
No,
about
no, no,
20
no, no,
people.
no.
That's what I'm
Nah,
saying.
but my
Like
thing is,
if it
but
don't apply, let it fly. What's
no,
the
it
problem?
applies, check. It applies because
Okay,
you
so
said
you
something.
hit dogs holler.
No, it applies because you specifically said something about Black Americans cannot speak. I'm sorry, half Black Americans cannot speak for Black Americans. So I want to know about that.
Okay, so the reason why I said that again, in certain situations, people speak for the us in its entirety, as if majority of us are bi ethnic or biracial, and that was the point of what I was saying. So whenever we have these type of conversations, it's like, oh, you can't talk about this because you're not biracial. You don't experience it, this and that. Well, it's like, well, you can't talk about our experience because you are biracial. You see what I'm saying? It's like you don't get to have it both ways, and that's my problem. You're going to be treated as an equal, not special. Nobody's special. And the problem with me is I get this kind of the same energy all around, and people can't handle that. So that's as far as my ideology. I don't have a problem necessarily with the individuals. It's your mindset. I have a problem with bi-ethnic or biracial people choosing the other side and don't coming back. In America, I got a problem with that. And talking
Okay.
about quote unquote black is black, and it's not. Black is black American.
What about
So
black
if you
people
ain't with
like
us,
Sharice and I
if
Before
you
y'all
ain't down with
continue,
choosing
reproduction, you're
our
not for the
side?
cause. You
Please
benefiting off
stop.
of it.
I don't want to be associated with biracial people. Can you? I understand what you're saying, but can you not say bi ethnic and biracial because it's not the same thing. Like I promise you, it's not this. Like I know you know it's not the same thing. So please stop. I understand what you're saying, but please stop using bi ethnic and biracial like it's the same thing
So
because it's not.
now you're trying to govern my words now. You don't like
Nah. See, my
this
I
thing
is
is
didn't say
like,
crazy.
don't say.
listen,
I
listen,
said
listen,
please don't.
listen.
It's a
But
request. It's not me. It's
listen.
not me trying to control what you say. It's just a
If you
request.
know the difference between race and ethnicity, then you know what I'm speaking about. Then this is
But
Listen,
but
my
you're
thing is,
using it as if
all
it's the
right.
same thing when
okay.
it's
Y'all go
not.
one at a time.
Nah. But see, my thing is like, so if I'm speaking on my family. I'm speaking on my family, what they've been through. My family been through sharecropping. My family were enslaved on this land. My mama's side. So I just feel like, who are you? Because you're fully Black American to tell me that I can't speak up for my family. I don't need to speak for your family. I don't need to
For
speak for. I don't need to.
somebody from
I
this
don't need.
land,
No, but and guess who also is from this land?
half of
Me.
you.
Half of me. So you
Yes.
can't split me in half. You can't split me in half
And you
with one
can't split
person.
you in half.
I don't want to. I'm very
You
pragmatic.
doing it
What
right
can I do?
now. That's what I'm
No, I
saying. You're
don't.
doing it
No,
right
I
now.
don't.
What you
No, I
talking about, bro?
don't. Check. I'm gonna ask you again. I'm gonna tell you again. My grandfather, nobody spoke for him. My aunties, nobody speaks for them. So if I want to speak for my family, who are Black Americans, I will. And who are you to tell me that I can't speak for my family? I don't need to speak for your family out of Houston. You do that. You do all that talking online for your family. I'm going to speak for my family. You're not going to stop me. You're not going to stop me. You
I
will
never
never
was
stop
trying
me.
to stop you. I
So
made a
why?
general tweet
So
that you
but
replied
my thing,
to.
yeah, because you are trying to come for my lineage because I have
No, I
two.
don't care
I
about
have
your
two. That's wrong. That's so wrong because what it does is now it causes distortion as if
what's causing
it's
distortion.
it's causing distortion as if I'm bigging up my Jamaican side over my Black American side. I'm not one of those people that's doing that.
Did
You're
I
meeting
comment
people
on
that's
your
doing that.
tweet or did you comment on my tweet?
But my thing is, like I'm not one of those people that's doing that. So when you
Do you
say
did,
that and you make a general statement, you're making it seem like all of us do that. We don't
well,
all
why
do
don't you
that.
ask me? That's what I'm saying. I'm here to clarify, but when I'm clarifying, you don't accept my answer. You don't accept what I'm
Kedar is up
saying
here.
because you
Kedar is
don't
up
agree
here.
with it. And that's
And
fine.
he
You don't have
also
to agree.
no, but what I'm saying is Kedar is up here. He also is half. There's another person in my DM. She
Facts,
don't
and
want
I
to
can
come up
speak to
here.
them. I'm not
She
speaking to
also
him right now.
hold on. She also don't want to come up here. She's half Black American and Nigerian. She told me she don't even like to tell people that she's half Nigerian because you are automatically assuming that she's gonna big up her other side. We bigging up our Black
So now
American
you're
side.
generalizing us,
No,
stereotyping.
you literally just tweeted it. You literally just said half of you
Yes.
can't speak for Black Americans. So I'm not generalizing. I'm taking from your
I
tweet.
said they shouldn't.
They is a generalized
Facts.
statement. So you're talking about
Facts.
me. You're talking about me. And I'm
No,
gonna
I'm
ask you
not.
again. I'm gonna
No,
ask
I'm
you
not.
again. Who are you to tell me I can't speak for my grandfather who
Okay,
had the same
so
cry from
let
age
me
of 4?
clarify what I'm saying, because the example that people use often is Malcolm X. They say, "Oh, Malcolm X is a person with mixed lineage." No, Malcolm X is a black man who happened to have mixed lineage, and that's what it is. He didn't talk about
Malcolm X.
anything.
Okay, so is
He
that
didn't.
us?
Can I
Malcolm X
finish what I'm
mom
saying,
is from
please?
Grenada
Can
and
I
his
finish
father
what I'm
was from
saying,
here.
please?
And he
Can
also
I
lived
please
in a
finish what
different
I'm saying?
time. No, I'm gonna interrupt because he
Because
also
you
lived
can't.
in a
You don't
different
accept it.
time. No, he also lived in a different time when there wasn't that many immigrants over here. So he didn't have to speak on his Caribbean side. There weren't that many. Now we're living in 2022 when there's a bunch of Caribbeans and others over here. And so we feel compelled to speak up for the other side that y'all making us speak on. When reality, when I was younger, I never told people that I was half Jamaican because I didn't need to.
Never.
I'm Black. I didn't need to say that
Never.
shit. I didn't need to. Y'all made me say that shit on Twitter. Y'all made me put that in my bio because you're trying to generalize and make it seem like I'm bigging up my other side. When if you were to go back, I want somebody to dig up my tweets. Never have I always bigged up my mom's side because that's who raised me. So how are you gonna tell me I can't speak for that side? Like, you keep saying you want to generalize a statement, but you tweeted it. You said they, and you're including me in that. So
Okay, so Malcolm X, again, was a black man who happened to have mixed lineage. He didn't speak about anything other than being us. He talked about our indigenous history, and he died about us. So when folks start bringing up Malcolm X as their example, the average person isn't going hard for our lineage as Malcolm X, and that's kind of the point I
check,
was making.
check,
But you
check.
don't want a
You've been in space.
conversation.
No,
You
no,
want
no.
to just
I like what you
complain
just
about the
said.
things that people
I like
say.
what
That's it. Your feelings are hurt about a tweet,
no.
and
I'm
that's
not
what this
hurt
is
at
about.
all.
You
No, I'm
don't
not
want to
hurt
have
at
a
all.
conversation. You're afraid to have a conversation. That's what this
No.
is.
Please,
And that's why you keep
please,
speaking over me every time I
please.
speak, because I'm
No, I
making
want you to.
sense.
No,
You're
I
gonna
want you
kick
to
me
stop
out
being
because I'm making
long-winded.
sense. I
I'm
know
not
you're gonna
kicking you
drop my
out.
mic because I'm making sense. I
No,
know
they didn't
you're
even
gonna
want
kick
you in
me out
here. They
and
didn't even want
remove
you in
me.
here. I'm
I
not.
know
Check.
you
My
We
didn't,
point.
didn't
because
My
you
check.
can't
no.
debate.
We didn't. No, we
You're
Check.
didn't
We
just
want you in
didn't
upset.
boot
here.
you yet.
First
We're
of all,
letting you talk, check.
She's
check.
cutting me off every time I speak.
No, check. Listen to me. Listen to me. I've been doing debates since before Twitter Spaces. Okay, that's why I have my show. So I'm just
Congratulations. You want a cookie?
okay. So no, I do. So anyway,
Oh, what
again,
flavor? Chocolate chip?
so you literally just said you literally just described me, and you trying to downplay it because we've been in spaces all these months. You literally just said you haven't met someone who's bigged up their side, their Black American side, like Malcolm X. Go down my timeline, other than today, Jamaican Independence Day, and tell me where I've talked about Jamaicans. Tell me where I've talked about Jamaicans. I only speak about Black Americans.
You want to
So
make this about yourself?
no, I'm not making it about myself. I feel like you guys are making it a distortion. Do not group
No, you
me in
can have
with.
a
Do
conversation
not.
with me and we
No.
can
Do not.
conversate, but you're not
Do
going to
not
tell me
group
what I
me
mean
in.
by what I say. That's not what
You
this is.
literally just explained it, and I feel like you want to go in
You cut me
circles,
off in the
but
middle of me speaking,
I'm
and then you
gonna cut you
ramble and
off
you mute the
because this
room.
is my space. I'm gonna cut you off as much as I can because this is my space. What I'm trying to tell you is you tweeted something and you literally are telling me that you feel like I can't speak for Black Americans. Is that a yes or no?
Can Black Americans speak for mixed people?
No. Can
We
you
are
answer
not
my question with a
mixed.
yes? Oh my
You
We
said
are
God.
what?
not
Can you
mixed.
answer my questions with a yes or no? Can
If
I
if if
have
if,
no wait, can you just
yes,
give me yes or no?
you
Can
can
I
speak
speak
for
for Black
Black
Americans?
Americans if Black Americans can speak for mixed people. Yes.
We are
All
not
right.
mixed.
Goodbye,
Well,
chat.
bi ethnic and biracial.
Goodbye,
If
chat.
See,
we can
and
I'm
this is
speak
what
for
I
y'all,
mean
y'all
when
can
you.
speak
This is
for
what
goodbye,
us.
I
If
mean
chat.
if
when I
not,
say you're
no, you
mixing up
can't.
biracial with bi-ethnic. Don't
Same
do
thing.
that. I
I'm
am
saying
not
both.
mixed. I am a
Bi
black
ethnic.
woman.
It is mixed.
I
It's
am a
different
black
ethnic groups.
woman.
Is it?
Chat,
Are
So,
you
those not
switched
two
so,
ethnic
so,
up. You
groups?
so
switched
first y'all
up.
get on.
You
No.
switched
Is
Wait,
up.
wait.
Jamaican is
We
so
switched
you're
up.
telling me
You switched up. You switched up because
Because
when we got in them spaces with them Haitian girls, you was on my side. You was like, how is she wrong? that was months ago. Now all of a sudden I can't speak for Black Americans because I'm half. Like, gosh,
But my problem is you're sitting here calling us mixed. I say I'm a Black woman, but don't y'all get on people on Caribbeans or Africans who say that they're not Black, that they're African, or they're not Black, that they're Nigerian, they're not Black, that they're Jamaican. But the moment I say I'm a Black woman, it's no, you're mixed. I'm very confused on that, and I have never not called myself a Black woman. Like I'm so baffled. This stuff in real life, nobody says that I'm not a Black woman. I don't understand this.
I didn't call you two directly mixed. That's what I'm saying. Y'all are getting offended by what I'm
But you're
saying,
not
and I'm
saying nothing.
sorry.
You're not saying anything. You're not
I
saying
said a
anything.
lot. A lot of, like I
No,
said,
I asked
I
you
said a
one
great
question.
piece.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Can I not speak for Black Americans?
If
Yes
we
or
can
no?
speak for y'all, yes.
Yes or no?
We're Black Americans,
I
so
just
yeah, you can
answered the
speak for
question. Do
Black
you not
Americans
accept
because
the
we're Black.
answer?
No, I need yes or no.
I answered the question.
You're answering the question with a question.
Yes,
Yes
you can speak
or
for us
no?
because we're
No, I
Black
didn't say if.
Americans.
I said yes, if we can speak for you.
We're Black
Yes.
Americans, so of course.
You
Well,
can.
everybody again. So you're telling me that a Jamaican and somebody from St. Lucia are part of the same ethnic group? Is that
Saint
what you're saying?
Lucia.
Yes.
No.
Who
What?
from Saint
You're
Lucia?
Okay, so what's the issue? Like, what's the problem? I said by
the
ethnic. Don't say that word; it's offensive. But somebody
No, I
said you just
said
said
don't
that
say
you're
Bob.
regular
I
Well,
said
black.
don't
bro,
say Bob
You
let me.
just said
Marley.
you're
Can
regular
I
black.
clear?
What's up
Can
with
I
that?
clear up what you were
Regular
saying?
black.
Can I
What's
you're
up with
say
not.
that?
something real quick?
You're not saying
Can I?
anything.
I said a
You
lot. What you just called us regular black? That's
Can I
offensive.
say
Huh?
something, y'all?
I said I'm regular Black.
Yeah, that cut that out, man. We the original black, the only black.
Okay.
What you talking
Can I
about?
say something though?
I said I refer to myself as regular Black when people try to come for me and say that I'm mixed.
And
That's
yeah,
what I
and I could
said.
be offended by what you said. I could be offended by that, but I choose not to be because I understand what you mean by it. Do
You
you see what
are
I'm
you
saying? Like
you're
I
trying
could
to
be
talk.
offended
You're
by a lot
trying
of
to talk
things,
in
but I'm not.
circles. You still won't answer the question. So don't say nobody ain't let you up here and
I
talk because
said
you're not.
yes. Yes is the
Don't
answer.
yes is.
But
Don't
only
yes
if
is.
yes,
Please
I answered your question. Yes. The
check
answer to the question is
check. You
yes.
know what? You
But
know what?
only
I
if
used to like to have conversations with you, but I could see that you're up here to cause distortion. Like you literally are backing down from the tweet. So goodbye. I don't need to speak to you ever again. I just don't really. I don't get it. It's oh yes, if we can speak for y'all, yeah, you can speak for us. You are Black
We're
Americans.
Black Americans, like of course.
What?
All I was saying was I don't like that he's calling us mixed and biracial. I am not biracial. I am not mixed. I am a Black woman. We running out of time, so we need to let some more people speak.
Yeah, yeah.
We just
Let
wasted a
some
lot of
more
time on that
speak.
when that didn't get anything done. Very unproductive.
Very unproductive. Let's let this person speak. Um, go ahead. Really quick. Rashad, go ahead because he was asking to speak earlier. All right. Go ahead.
Rashad, you there?
All right. Go ahead, Shantae. Right. Go ahead, Kedar.
Is there something wrong with the connection, or is it just me?
I don't know because I'm calling on people and nobody's responding. Can you hear me, Sharice?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so then it's not me. All right. Go ahead, Kiana.
I don't know what's going on. Like I don't know why it's not working.
Oh, we had it on mute.
Oh shoot. Sorry, y'all.
Okay, now, yeah, you had us muted. Um, this is what I wanted to say real quick though. Damn, check gone. I wanted to ask him something. Me personally, like whatever tweets go out about that kind of stuff, like I don't even get offended, real shit, because I mean, I don't know. I'm a thick skinned ass nigga. Like a lot of shit, it take a lot to offend a guy like me. So, I look at it like the shit don't apply to a guy like me. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't really look at it like that. But at the same time, I look at the situation and say, listen, you gotta see individuals for what they are. Now, I do see a lot of off code ass motherfuckers who might be half American, half whatever. You know what I'm saying? It could be Jamaican, you know what I'm saying, Haitian, Nigerian, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you know, all of us ain't on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? And then I wanted to put this out there because if if somebody who does have American lineage, you know what I'm saying, can't speak on what's going on with Black Americans, you know, as far as being half American, then you got individuals, you know what I'm saying, like Malcolm. Yeah, I'm gonna bring him up, you know what I'm saying? But then even more recently, you got, you know what I'm saying, individuals like Nipsey, you know what I'm saying, who's like real stand up, 10 toes type of guys who really put on for the community. So at the end of the day, I feel like you can't just dismiss somebody based on that, you know what I'm saying? Because we American too, you know what I'm saying? I mean, bottom line, like, and really, I once again, me, I look at things from an indigenous perspective. You know what I'm saying? In Indian country, if your mama from this motherfucker, that's what you is. You know, so that's how I look at shit.
Also, let me just throw some history into this because what's funny is that during slavery, you were what your mama was. Your status was what your mother was. And so I do think that it's a big difference when your mom is Black American versus when your dad is Black American. When you were a slave, if your mom was a slave, you was a slave. If your dad was free, you were still a slave because your mom was a slave. And so I do think that there is a difference where there's bi-ethnic people and they were raised by their mama, but their mama's something else. I do think that there's a major difference. And I'll just throw that in there. But go ahead, Rashad, really quick, because we got like 30 minutes left, less than that. And so try to keep it under like 30 seconds, y'all.
All right, I'm gonna be super quick about it. I think the main issue that some of us have is, or when it comes to, the dual allegiance, where someone might be, I don't know, Jamaican and American. The problem that I usually have is when we allow people who have dual allegiance to represent us, and what I mean by that is they'll say, "Oh yeah, I'm Black American and I'm Jamaican," but you'll see them speaking on both sides, and they're trying, when it's talking about getting specific tangibles for Black Americans, you'll see them start talking about, oh well, what about immigrants and stuff like that. That's where the issue come in with the dual allegiance. If you're talking about specific tangibles for foundational Black Americans, then I'm cool with that. But if you're talking about like, oh yeah, you're Black American when it's beneficial for you, and then you start trying to crowbar immigrants in there, that's where the issue comes in at. Because if you look at the mafia don't let anybody who's not quote unquote made if they're not full blooded. But
well, I'll say this. So my daddy, may he rest in peace, he died from COVID last year. He is not qualified for reparations.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not. And neither is his mama. They are qualified for reparations through their country, Jamaica.
England.
And in England. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's that. So
I can understand what you're saying. Like I said, I used to be really off code, which is I guess why people have a problem with me, because they pull up my old posts. And like I said, I was in my Candace Owens my Candace Owens era, extremely right leaning, extremely conservative. So I can understand why people don't like me, but like I said, my views have changed over time. So although I was off code, I'm not anymore. And when you listen to my tweets, when you see my tweets and listen to me in spaces, or even listening to my conversation with other Black conservatives or other conservatives, I'm always standing for Black Americans. I'm always standing for my people.
That.
And I've I guess you can say ruined my brand for doing that. I've been called a Black supremacist. I when you're a Black conservative, they try to throw white men on you so bad. They try to say why you don't like white men, why you won't date white men. If I could tell you how many times that has been said to me, and then when I told them that I only date Black men, then they get upset. So it's just like, yeah, I was off code back then, but I had some learning to do and some growing to do, and I can say that I did that growing and I did that learning. But I definitely understand what you're saying. I have experienced that from other Black ethnic people. Them playing dual allegiance when it comes to, they'll say that they're Black American, but not standing for tangibles for Black Americans when that's wrong.
And
so yeah.
and I'm
yep.
just
And I want to also say too, like you guys, like there's some people who who be off code and they stay off code and they do that until they die. So for her to convert, which is what I said earlier, is news to me. I'm really proud of that because that's what I want for a lot of my family members. A lot of my family members are off code who are fully Black American, and I want them to convert and do a Sharice. And so we got to be proud of that. And also, I also see a lot of bi ethnic people choosing their other ethnic side that's foreign because it seems better
It's
or
cooler.
whatever. It's
Like it
cooler.
seems cooler. That's like I
Yeah,
said.
that's what they say. But then
Yeah.
but they're like Sharice said, they're Black. But when it comes to tangibles, it's not. Everybody got to get some this flat
Yeah.
Blackness idea, and I don't like that. And so I think we're both very clear about where we stand and what side do we stand on. But we're not gonna put down our lineage. I'm not gonna put down my lineage. Kadar is not gonna put down his lineage. Sharice is not gonna put down her lineage. We're not doing that for y'all.
But and and I just want to close it out with this. But that's why we do, or a lot of people are skeptical of or excuse me, standoffish when it comes to dual allegiance, because we see that especially when it came with the you had people like the King Face dude who was, oh no, he wasn't dual allegiance. He didn't have dual allegiance.
And I used to affiliate
Um,
with him, and like I said, I used to be really off code, so I definitely understand where you're coming from. He was off code.
and so
He was just Haitian. That was it. He
Yeah, I
wasn't.
don't even think
it
he
was
had no American lineage. Or he was just straight up Haitian.
Yeah. So back
I think
then, when I was
it
affiliating with him,
was, what
God
was it?
rest his soul.
And he died.
Very off code.
I was just about to say he
Yeah.
died, y'all. So that's like the tragic thing about,
Very
and
off
I'm not trying to
code.
laugh, but he is gone now, which is very crazy. But
Whatever the guy, I mean, I should have mentioned what was the guy named. The guy who was on the reparation panel. His name was Cruz, or he was talking about reparations.
I don't know who that is.
He
I don't
was a
know who
Puerto
that
Rican,
man is.
but
Sorry to this man.
it was one of them. But that's what the thing that a lot of people have issues with, where if you had that dual allegiance and you only talk about being a Black American when it comes to being beneficial for you, that's where you going, like, you'll have a lot of pushback, and a lot of people are going to be standoffish because a lot of our tangibles have been undermined because we've had a lot of people who've done that game of, well, I'm Black American now, and then when you start talking about certain things, well, now I'm such and such. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful
Yeah,
of
that's
that,
that
just in
fake
general.
shit.
This is
I agree
why,
with you on that though.
but listen though, before you speak, this is why I understand it can get really heated sometimes, but this is why you have to educate in love as well. Because like I said, I used to be very off code. I'm not, that's not a secret. I used to never be for reparations for Black Americans. JL is one of the ones who educated me on that. And I started doing my research and I'm like, you know what? It is kind of wrong for me to sit here and say I'm Black. I'm also conservative, but I'm not for reparations when that's honestly the most conservative thing I could be for. Because that is what the United States government promised to Black Americans,
exactly,
and
I
yet they
don't.
did not do it. They still haven't done it for us, but it's giving reparations to other people groups, even to LGBT. They're trying to give them some kind of reparations, and I'm just like, that's not right.
And not to
And that's the
interrupt you,
most conservative
Sharice,
thing we can stand for. Yeah.
but I did just want to speak to your point because I'm so glad you brought that up. To the Black Americans in the room, if you think about it, even reparations is a conservative principle because if you think about it, we're conserving what our ancestors are owed. And you can even take it deeper and say we are owed for the psychological treatment, all the psyops we've been through, the fact that they kill everybody. They kill all races. But part of it as a psyop for Black people, our spiritual warfare is they show us our image being killed the most, like, and we do get killed at a different percentage. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is they show us our torment the most because they are targeting us spiritually as Black Americans. So I feel like we have to understand that reparations is more of a conservative principle because it is conserving the wealth that we are owed. So I just wanted to add that.
That's
And
a
All right.
perfect. That's a
So hold on,
perfect.
y'all. I really want to get
That's
to like
perfect.
everybody else. Go ahead, Kiana, then Sunny.
Hey everybody. Thank you, Dr. and Sharice, for allowing me to speak. I just wanted to quickly elaborate on the statement Check made about people with dual allegiances, or as you guys have been calling it, um, different ethnicities. Um, Speaking for us, because I think that that's a critical part in all of this. I personally believe that we should not be having anyone who is not fully foundational Black American speaking for us. And I'm going to tell you why.
Go ahead, Sunny.
Yo, peace, peace to the room. Thanks, Kadir and Sharice for having this space. It's definitely it's an interesting space. I heard some things that I agree with, some things I don't agree with. This is what I can say. For you to have lineage, you will have to have a solid track record to speak on behalf of foundational Black Americans. I know for Kedar's been pretty solid as far as like what it goes and how on the issues on foundational Black Americans and Kedar, right? I can even say I seen Kedar and Kedar and yeah, Kedar and Kedar in the Freeman spaces when I first got on Twitter spaces. I think that's how we all, seen each other. But that's not the case overall. As covering the whole spectrum of people with half lineage, it's only seen like 2 or 3. So we got to be honest when we having a conversation, because people do like to dibble and dabble and jump back and forth and play hopscotch and double dutch when it comes to tangibles. And being that reparations is the hot topic in this country, and it's really happening. We put in the groundwork and the legwork, and this is something that is really coming down the pipeline. And this is something that we're moving. We have to be careful of who's speaking out for foundational Black Americans, because right now it is beneficial for you to be FBA, for you to be able to track your lineage on the 1870 census and be eligible for reparations. And like, Rashad was saying, I even forgot what movie that was. I think it was, I don't know if it was The Godfather or Casino, but yeah, Michael, he was half Sicilian. He could not, he wasn't a main man. He couldn't sit down at the table when it was time to make decisions, when it came to the Italians. But he was still there. He was still cool. He was still riding. He was still in the car when it was time to go missions. But no, he was not able to sit down when it was time to make decisions on behalf of a lineage of people. You can't do that. And even a few of the talking points that I heard.
Oh wait, hold on, Sunny. So
who did you mention? You said Marcus.
Really I just want to say something really quick. So I agree that you do have to trace your people back. My people have been traced back to 1709 out of Newberry, South Carolina, on my mama's side. Now, are you saying that? So I think that movie or whatever, I get it. But what I feel like is that I'm going to speak on my ancestors, Violet Mangum from Newberry, South Carolina, born in 1709. I'm going to speak for her. Nobody's going to stop me from doing that. Do you have an issue with that?
Nah, those are your ancestors. I'm talking about as a collective. Right now, we're moving as a whole collective as Black Americans. And we're trying to, get tangible specifically for us. And when it's time to get tangibles specifically for Black Americans, we become minorities, people of color, BIPOC. We get Black and Brown coalition. We get all lumped up into this one big gumbo, and where they flatten Blackness. And we not doing flat Black no more. I even heard it in the space today. We all Black. No, we not all Black.
And I do not stand for no flat Blackness at all. Like I was the one who asked that question to Black Authority in the space, because I do not like the flat Blackness ideology at all. So yeah.
Nah. So this not, I mean, to be honest, a lot of these talking points is not really, like I said, we've been in the Freeman and Reparations spaces. Like I said, I've seen you and Kedar in those spaces. So this is not really directed towards you. It's just for the space and even some of the comments in the purple box. So I think that it's important for us to understand, yes, you do have to have a long track record that shows that Nipsey and Malcolm X, they track record is long and strong and solid. They never stepped out of the box anytime. And when we look around, we seeing people like NARC, organizations like NARC and then Cobra that are full of Black immigrants that are taking long ass lunch breaks. They deciding how much we going to get, when we going to get. They playing around with it. They've been taking years and years and years. But we all supposed to just be like this one global family of Blackness. And these people don't get called out. Only people that get called out is Black Americans. I've never seen a Twitter space calling out Corinne Jean-Pierre, the Haitian woman that was bucking her eyes when they was asking her about reparations. like a month ago in White House. So it just seems to be like all of the attention gets caught on foundational Black Americans for whatever, but nobody is really calling out their other dual allegiance side. And these are the people that are actually having political power and making decisions and sitting down and deciding, on our tangibles. And that's all I wanted to say.
Word, I definitely understand what you're saying. I'm going to say this before the space ends. I think in order for us to do that, we have to first be unified. I think we have to be home. We have to be unified here. There is so much infighting that I've seen on Twitter in the Black American community, and it really makes me sick to my stomach. I used to be a part of a lot of these Twitter spaces, and I had to stop. It was messing up my mental health because there's just so much infighting. Like, how can we hold other people accountable if there's so much infighting within the Black American community? We have to agree to disagree, but come on one accord to what we're trying to do for the community. Like, if we can't get on one accord and get unified, there is no way we're going to be able to call out anybody else and actually get things done for our community if we're always fighting. Like, there's so much fighting, especially on Twitter. No disrespect to anyone, but there's just so much infighting that I really don't like. I hate controversy. Like, I am a really loving person, and I really have a good heart for everyone. So I really, like, this is what I want to say in the beginning as well. I just really hate all of the infighting I'm seeing within the Black American community. No matter if you were freedmen, ADOS, FBA, everybody should be unified on one accord to get things done, to get tangibles for our community. But that's not happening because people are fighting too much, and we have to stop. We have to stop. Seriously. That's all I have to say, though.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't want to talk too much because I am going to end the space in 10 minutes. So the next people to speak, can you please like just keep it to 30 seconds? And if we want to speak again offline, we can do that. Go ahead, Goddess.
Well, I'm gonna just not speak because I can't speak in 30 seconds. So I'm just go back mute.
Okay. Go ahead, Pedrino.
Oh, you brought me up. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. What's going on? I was just checking this joint out. Two things. So I seen like, I don't know, it's like this ongoing debate about this. It's like some Love and Hip Hop type shit, but I guess people want to debate on it. But long story short, per Dr. Darity, as long as you got one Black American parent, you Black American, FBA, freedom, whatever you want to call it. But besides all that, I mean, if you're doing something, like if you're doing something to advance the movement and advance the cause, like I really think that should be the real issue, that the most important thing, like, that people should be on. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody doing their thing, because people is doing their thing in different areas, and y'all know who y'all is that's doing y'all thing. But I really think that should be the main talking point. Like, this selective, oh, you a half breed, or oh, you mulatto, like, I don't give a fuck. Whoever doing what we need,
So in other
we gotta be
words,
on point.
the end goal is
Yeah,
tangibles. The end goal is tangibles. That's what it should be about. But people are getting sidetracked, and that's why we're not getting nothing done.
Sometimes it be like online trolls that people, sometimes they might not just fuck with you because of politics or whatever. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta dip and weave those situations. They not really a situation, if that makes sense. Like, I don't really like to really step on and shit on people, but like, I deal with this type of shit in real life. You deal with it in real life. Y'all deal with it in different aspects. This is just like you entering a new job and people
No,
coming at you from different angles,
just fine.
and they got to come up with a situation that you just might not agree with. It ain't really that deep, though. I just don't. I feel like we creating a show for the non-FBA to really see what's going on, and they like, damn, they got internal beef over some half breeds. It's like what is going on?
Too much infighting. Like I said, we can't get nothing done on the outside if we don't have the house in order. What my grandma said: love starts at home. If we can't do that, ain't nothing gonna get done on the outside. Period.
That's all.
Yeah, and I think that's something I realized like long time ago. Like I didn't even think that there was all these intricate issues within, and then I'm finding out from Twitter, and that's why I'm hosting this space. Go ahead, Kedar.
Wait, nah, we
Yeah,
gotta let other people speak because Kedar don't talk
Hey,
enough.
hey,
I'm
Oh
sorry,
yeah,
Kedar.
oh yeah, oh
You
yeah.
not
Sorry,
talking enough,
Kiara. Go ahead.
baby. You,
Sorry.
come on now.
hey.
Go ahead, Shay.
Yeah. So yeah, I be confused about this convo sometimes because I feel like a lot of full Black Americans, quote unquote, right? They do this stuff. Well, we do this stuff when it's convenient, right? So like we'll claim biracial people, and then as soon as the biracial person don't do something we don't like, then we'll say, "Oh yeah, you niggas ain't biracial," right? Then it's like we starting to do this stuff with by ethnics, which it don't really make sense to me because it's like I'll ask somebody like, "All right, who do you look up to like Black American historian?" Then a lot of people will quote Malcolm X and shit, and then I'm like, "All right, he's by ethnic, so he's not Black American now. He can't speak on behalf of us, but he has before." So I'm just kind of confused on like where we standing with it, and I feel like we always get to like we always make these points when it's convenient. Like we even accepted a non FBA person as president. Like he was he was Kenyan and white, and then we
Hold
literally
on now. Not we. Cause
nah.
me,
I'm
nah.
saying as a collective. I'm saying the majority of Black Americans, right? I don't give a damn where you was at. We was making songs. My president is black. My Lambo blue. We was doing all type of weirdo stuff, saying he Black American. But then as soon as he don't do shit for the collective of Black Americans, now it's fuck him. He ain't that nigga biracial anyway. So it's like I just feel like, and I don't got a problem with it because I'm really with the nobody's bigger than the program and the majority rules. So if the majority say certain something should be a certain way, I'm the type of dude that I'm gonna follow suit because I'm not bigger than my people. You feel me? But we can't do this stuff when it's convenient, right? We want to claim somebody as biracial, and then when they don't do shit for us, we like fuck them, right? So it's like if we accept them black, because there's a consensus amongst Black Americans that we accept biracials as black, right? So if we're accepting biracials which within that biracial they're bi ethnic because they're probably like Irish and black, they're probably Italian and
I
black.
mean, yeah. What's her name? I'm not gonna say his name. Wife is biracial. Mama is
Yeah,
white.
so I'm saying exactly. So I guarantee you, uh, his mom. I mean, her mom is probably Irish or some shit. That's literally bi ethnic. So his kids can't speak on behalf of us no more. That's what I'm saying. We gotta stand on something and then enforce it instead of stop doing shit when it's convenient to our, or like we in our feelings. So we like fuck them biracials, nah, or fuck them bi ethnics. Like we all over the
All
place. We
right.
need to stand on something and move on it. That's all I'm
We've
saying.
been this way for a long. Let me just be honest. Okay, I don't want to speak. I don't want to be the spokesperson. I'm just saying my opinion. I just think the Black community have been all over the place for a while. But I mean, that's just us. We don't have unity as a people right now. We don't, and this is why we're not getting stuff done. But let me not be
Um,
the y'all say I'm not the spokesperson, so let me not be the spokesperson. That's just my opinion.
no, you the spokesperson for your family, Sharice. So go ahead and speak when you feel the necessity to. All right. So I gotta take the last two people, because I want me and Sharice to close out the room, and we are ending exactly in 8 minutes. We gotta end the space. So
Are you sure?
go.
Like I can't continue it if you leave, like, or does it not work like that?
Oh, so I think once I get a call, because I got an important call coming through. I think once I get a call, it's gonna end. I could take the call and try my like, and keep the space open, and then you
Yeah.
just. But if it ends, I'm just saying it might end, because that
Okay.
happened to me
We'll see.
before. Yeah, but yeah. What I wanted to say is I feel like y'all think if because we do have what that Jamaican woman in Virginia as the governor or something, right? Or she's in some
It,
position of power,
and she was off code. She was
and
not.
she's off
No,
cold as
ma'am.
hell, and she's not
And we
even to
spoke on
me.
that.
Right, and I feel like y'all think that we going like if we were to get in power, we'll be in the office with the Jamaican flag like Kamala Harris or something. Like y'all really think that's what
Eating
we're
the
gonna be
beef
doing?
patty in the White House. Absolutely
Ian,
not.
Ian, Ian Oxtel, rice and peas in the White House. Like I think that's what y'all think we are going to be doing, and we've said it multiple times that that's not the vibe that we're on because it's not the vibe that we were raised in. It's not the culture that we know. So it's not even possible. Like legitimately, it's not possible. I had to go on YouTube and watch this white girl speak patois so I can understand some of the things my
For
family was
real.
saying.
I can't
Like, I don't
understand
think
it.
y'all don't get it. Like, y'all don't understand my upbringing. I think the assumption that I'm going to put on Jamaicans, like I said, my daddy, he does not get, if he were here, he would not qualify for reparations whatsoever. Both his parents are Jamaican, from my knowledge. So no. And and don't interrupt. I'm sorry, the hug dealer, mute your mic. But anyways, I don't want to ramble. Go ahead, Chacoma, right?
It's Chalk.
Chalk,
Yeah.
go ahead.
How y'all doing? Actually, like I'm kind of new to these Twitter spaces. Been on here for I say about 2 months now, and it's been
Stay
crazy.
new.
Huh?
Stay new because it's just too much ununified stuff that be going on. This is why I don't do spaces like this. But go ahead. Stay new to it, love.
Yeah, it's I mean, honestly, it's like I see where everybody's stance is. Like overall, there are some people that are wrong though. You know what I mean? Now this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make it brief, but here's the thing. Um, I know a lot of people don't believe in. Some people don't believe in the out of Africa theory, right? Some people don't believe like there were any slaves that came over here. Some people believe that just all the slaves just were already here and it just got enslaved. But I know that's not true. You know what I mean? Like I'm from South Carolina. You know what I mean? Like I've seen the dungeons. You know what I mean? I know the stories. Like this shit is real as fuck. You know what I mean? Even like with the food. You know what I mean? Like our food is very, very, close to African food, like the way we prepare our food. So what I'll say is this right here, you know, um, on those ships, with people being abducted and kidnapped and, put into the belly of the ship and all that kind of stuff, there were different tribes, man. Like, there were different tribes of people, and a lot of times they don't talk about like the revolts that happened on those ships. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be real with you. Like I'm not with, this new Pan African stuff because some people are just caping and they're not right and not like really down for all people like they say they are. But in the belly of those ships, when they had those slave revolts, that was probably Pan Africanism at its truest form. You see what I'm saying? Because people were literally, our people were literally side by side fighting, their oppressor, to the death. You see what I'm saying? So in that aspect, you know, the whole Pan Africanism movement was alive then. You see what I'm saying? And as far as, the reparations thing, I get it. The bigger picture, like I get it. There has to be uh parameters in which you try to qualify everybody who's qualifiable. You see what I'm saying? So I get that. You see what I'm saying? But the truth of the matter is, somebody, I think it was Kadar, he talked about the intra what was it, the intra something slavery?
Intra-American slave trade.
Intra-American slavery. Like, and I know that's true. You know what I mean? Like I know that's true because, like my mom's side of the family, like I know that they came from the islands. You see what I'm saying? Like I know that, you know what I mean? But they were still here, like doing the same work, under the same, slavery that everybody else was. Like my dad's family, is from here, or Africa here, whatever, you know what I mean? But all that can be traced, you know what I mean? Past the 1870 census, honestly, I ain't even too worried about reparations, you know what I mean? But what I am worried about is what happens afterwards. You see what I'm saying? Because like if we're showing our ass right now, and the way we treating each other right now, when none of us got the bag, you know, I'm talking about as a collective. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about wealth. You see what I'm saying? Like the way we treating each other right now, we don't really have like wealth as a people. Like this shit is gonna be a fucking mess when we do get it. You see what I'm saying? And that shit is honestly, man, it's an embarrassment to our people because, like, if you traveled outside this country, and I have, if you traveled outside this country, man, like, people look at us, and it's the craziest shit, you know, because these people are, descendants of the people who enslaved us, but they look at us like we're the champions of the fucking world. I swear, you know what I mean? Like I've been to Europe and people like when they figure out I'm American, like black American, these motherfuckers like jump, like they buzz towards me, and they're like, "Yo, listen, your people are the true representation of freedom." And like literally, they said it. They said your people are the true representation of freedom. They said those white people, they said they're just imposters, they're liars. You know what I mean? But we know like who the real champions are. And I was like, what? Like that's the first time I ever heard some shit like that. So when you look at it from the outside looking in and like from different perspectives, like yo, we gotta straighten the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like trust me, man. Like I've lived in Miami, so I know how like the flags work and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like everybody can't rep a Haitian flag. Everybody can't rep Zopound. You know what I mean? I'm serious. Everybody
So,
can do that. You know what I mean?
but
Everybody.
I wasn't lying when I said it is like if you repping another flag in Florida, you like automatically popular. Like
Yeah,
they really do accept you. I wasn't lying when I said that. I'm glad I have another testament of somebody else
but,
saying that.
but see, here's the shit though. I lived in Northeast 6th Ave, Miami, Florida. You know what I mean? North Miami, Florida. You see what I'm
Poking
saying?
beans.
Yeah, nah, not quite the poker bean. I ain't living the poker beans now. But you know what? But on some real shit, like I used to go up in the poker beans though. Like I went up in there.
That's the real hood.
You know what I mean? Like I went up in there though. Like I got some partners over there. But the thing is, I lived in a Haitian neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? Elvis Doomerville. If anybody knows, Elvis Doomerville was an NFL player, and he bought up like all of 6th Ave, like all those apartment buildings and shit. He bought all that shit. Look it up. But the thing is, like when I used to go to the like local grocery store, like corner store, like around the way from my apartment, they thought I was Haitian. They really did.
No,
Like
listen, I get that all the time. It's either you speak Creole, like they'll be like that, or
right.
they'll be like, are you Nigerian? And I'll be like, no.
Listen,
Like, I
the
don't
shit is
know.
right, and the shit is. But see, the thing is, I always rep where I'm from. That shit don't change me. Like, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I'm Haitian, and wear a Haitian flag just to get by. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Listen, I'm from South Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, I'm living here now, and they're like, nah, and they like it was almost on some adoption type shit. They're like, nah, you Haitian. I was like, okay, well, if you say I'm Haitian today, let me get my groceries and get on through. I'm Haitian today, okay? But see, the thing is, man, it's like this Twitter stuff, man. Like I love it that Black Americans are standing up for themselves, delineating and saying like, hey, listen, we're not gonna be pushed around by anybody. I love that. You see what I'm saying? Because these are my people. You see what I'm saying? Like this is it. And I love what we doing. Like we taking charge and saying, hey, like, listen, man, like, okay, y'all want to look over us, y'all want to skip over us, y'all want to play in our fucking face. This is what we gonna do. This is our response. You see what I'm saying? And we got the nuts to do it because and not necessarily saying that our ancestors didn't have the nuts. You see what I'm saying? Excuse my French, ladies. But the thing is like when our ancestors had the nuts, but they were lynched for it. You see what I'm saying? They were beaten for it, raped for it. You see what I'm saying? So I love it. Now the thing is, here's the thing. Now you got some little Pan Africanist sects or whatever, they're no good. You see what I'm saying? They don't mean the movement no good. They don't mean, foundational Black Americans any good. Like they're just no good. You see what I'm saying? Like they're pure haters. They don't want nothing good to come out of this. You see what I'm saying? And that's not right. But the thing I can say is this right here. Let us handle our business in-house. Let us sweep around our own doorstep. You know what I mean? And then if you're gonna ride, then ride. You see what I'm saying? Know your position. If your position is, in the back seat behind the driver, you know what I mean? Shut the fuck up, ride, and shoot if you have to. You see what I'm saying? If we tell you to shoot, then shoot. But there's no way, man, that we're gonna go to another country, you know what I mean? Jamaica, you know, uh, anywhere. You know what I mean? Because y'all have your own culture. Y'all have your own style of, street politics, period. Black Americans are not going to go there and interject into that shit and say, hey, listen, we want y'all to do this shit, this way because we believe it's going to work. That shit ain't going to work. We know that. We're not going to go to Ghana and do that. We're not going to, definitely not going to Nigeria and do that shit. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, it's about respect right now. I'm being for real. It's about respect. You see what I'm saying? Like we gotta respect each other. You gotta respect positions, and we gotta say, hey, you know what? You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie, there's some xenophobia going on, man. And it's some correction that need to be made. Like we don't listen. We have to be solid. We have to hold our stance. You know what I mean? Stay in our square. But listen, we don't have to kill everything in our path, especially like our people. Because if I promise you, a lot of motherfuckers claiming that they did their history and their research and all that kind of stuff. I guarantee if you go back far enough, because a lot of motherfuckers, they family come from South Carolina, and I'm sorry for cussing, but their family come from South
Yeah,
Carolina.
you need to calm down now.
Ah,
Go ahead, but come on now.
now, Sharice, now, hold on a second. Now, you
But
didn't.
continue. We not about to get sidetracked.
No, because I got
Continue.
something to say to you anyway. But
Oh
listen,
Lord, have
let me
mercy.
let me let me go ahead and land my plane. Bottom line is, there's a museum opening up, Charleston, South Carolina, 2023, International Black History Museum. It's on. It's actually being built on Gadsden's Wharf. So you know how they have the door no return over in West Africa and all that kind of stuff. You know how that's monumental.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Okay, all right. Well, Gadsden's Wharf is the actual wharf where slaves were imported like through Charleston, South Carolina. But anyway, everybody come out to that, and Sharice, get your grandma her red basket because
I
you don't
didn't
want to.
even have it. My mom
You
had it.
had
She
it.
just came in
You
and
had
messed
it.
with me for
You
real.
had it. Okay, we know you had it. Give
Oh,
it to
I
me.
did not have it. But
Bye.
okay.
I land my plane, Sharice. Bye.
All right. Bye, bye. Dr. Q was in a call, so I will be moderating the room now. And I'm gonna who else wants to speak? Okay, who didn't speak? The melanated knight, you can go. And then we're just gonna go in order. After him, the hug dealer, and then after him I'm gonna let Melrose up. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm walking, so it's gonna probably be some background noise, but I'm gonna be real quick. I'm just about this whole half thing. We have to understand too, like most of the half ADOS people are raised in our culture. So I do think, like Sharice, when you said like us creating like more division, it really is unnecessary, because yet again we creating conflict with people who are part of us. Now, what we need to do is, if they're not with us, when we just get rid of them. But to have these out in public fights between that, if you ain't rocking, you ain't rocking. So it's really unnecessary. And, like I said, I get the fact that we have to divide because we don't want to be bunched all together, but we're literally fighting against people who got half our blood, and that's really unnecessary.
And fighting
Especially,
against people who hold up trying to get tangibles. Like, I really understand. Again, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna just say this again. I know I was off code in the beginning. Like, bro, everybody knows that, and people had to correct me, and I grew from that. But y'all not gonna sit here and act like I don't be putting my name on the line in these, especially conservative spaces, and be getting canceled practically all the time for Black Americans and for Black people. Like, if you have bi ethnic people who are standing for Black Americans and who are standing for tangibles for Black Americans, then why try to come at them? I really, I don't know. It's not making any sense. It seems a little divisive. I've been called an op, but honestly, that's op behavior in my opinion.
Because she's shaken the table so many times, y'all. Like, she's been on the news, she's been on several channels. That's why I'm saying, like, if you just don't know people, if you know me, I'm not gonna stand behind someone, right, that has been anti-Black American. I've noticed that for many, many years. It's nothing new to me. Like, this is something that I'm used to, anti-Black American behavior. I don't even say racism as much as I say anti-Black American. But if somebody does not possess those traits and they were raised as a Black American and they fight for, again, reparations. She has been visible doing this on news stations, articles. She's always, advocated for us. So you have to take it by by case basis, y'all. We get it. We know a lot of the things people are saying. It's like a lot of us have known that for years, and we've been talking about that for years. It's like, okay, what's the next step? If there are anomalies, if there are very rare cases, because we know it, we know how other cultures feel about us. We've made spaces about it. We've talked about it for hours, y'all. We know that they have a bias towards Black Americans. We know this. But if we see someone and there is a case where that is not the truth, don't we have to, you know what I'm saying? To some extent, don't we have to question and say, well, let's break this down. It's a case by case thing. Kedar, for instance. Oh, and I just want to shout out Kedar because he's been talking about Indigenous Americans for years. We followed each other on Instagram, and he could say the same thing about me. So he was not lying about that. We are very visible, in this fight, whether it's sharing information, whether it's doing what Sharice does, like she said, putting her life on the line, going on some of these, corporate television shows, talking about reparations. I see that as in some way she's putting her life on the line, and she is very young. you know, like she has her phase again where she might have been, you know, following the wrong things. I helped put her onto reparations, but she is young, and I think we have to take those things into account. It's not like she flip-flopped.
Yeah, and people posting old screenshots, y'all, it's not exposing me because I
She
literally have
literally
been
just said
saying
it.
I've been off quote, like I was a Candace Owens conservative at the time. So you posting that dear white people tweet, yes, that was coon behavior, okay? I
And
know everybody has had their coon phase. It just haven't been um as open as mine. Everyone has had their coon phase. Trust and believe. It hasn't
listen,
been just me, okay?
listen, I was a Pan-Africanist all my life. And it took a while to change. And if you go to my Twitter, you just saw the tweet about my mom wearing the Africa chain. She's still wearing that chain. So everybody has to convert into what we're doing now. And I also want to say that, Sharice, if you don't mind me saying this, that I believe she's under 25. So
Yes, I'm 23.
all them tweets that was from before, I'm like I'm big on your cerebral cortex is not fully developed until you are 25 years old. And so who knows what anything could influence someone that young. And so I'm happy that she converted, period.
I'm gonna the melanated knight was speaking before I interrupted, so I'm gonna let him finish. Sorry about that.
Excuse me.
You guys can go ahead because I'm on the bus. I don't want to interrupt anybody right now.
I'm sorry, who am I after? Because I believe my hand was up before all the brothers.
You can go.
Oh, thank you so much. So I appreciate you all letting me speak again. Thank you, Doctor. And I do apologize for yelling out of turn. I just got really, and this is probably why I don't be on Twitter a lot. I got a little agitated, and I get agitated when I hear my people say things like, you know, that's my block, that's my state, you know, and we really don't own anything. We don't own a business in the block. We don't own a grain of sand on the land of the state. So I think that we have to really start thinking outside the box and think, if we do get this reparations, and even before we get the reparations, why not put our heads together and buy land, right? If it's three of us on here from Florida, why not the three of us get together and buy a plot of land or two plots of land and start growing our vegetables, right? Because we are going into a state of famine, aren't we? Right? Why don't we start doing things that bring unity instead of coming onto social media and creating chaos and division? And I really feel like most of the people that we see on social media creating the chaos and division around this subject of lineage are likely broke, have no jobs, no education, and really don't get out the house much and do anything in their communities. They just want to be on social media, being internet gangsters, you know, antagonizing people about absolutely nothing. They have nothing else to do. They spend 100 hours a day on social media. I see them all the time, and it's ridiculous. Like, we really got to, you know, start thinking outside the box. You know, unplug from the matrix. Read a book. Learn how to, you know, fix some credit. Learn how to create some herbs. Learn something that you can bring back to your people. If you don't want to be bothered with me because my grandfather's Jamaican, that's fine. Well, bring something back to your people who are Black Americans. Bring something back to your children. Leave a legacy here for your babies, right? You're not leaving a legacy on Twitter being a thug. And it really makes me on point. You know, like, I'm from the streets, so not that I'm, you know, I'm not street minded anymore, but I'm always on guard. And when I hear people like my people, like, I got to be outside worrying about if I get snatched by a white person, right? And then I got to worry about a brother running down on me, ready to hit me over my head because my grandfather's from Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have those thoughts because I'm gonna get you before you get me. So let's stop doing that to each other. You know, y'all making me nervous to be around my own people. Like, in real life, I love my people. In real life, we're boots to ground in the community. Everybody knows the nation is and has always been for 100 years boots to ground. You know, making it happen for the Black people in the communities. So that's what we do. But don't make me feel like you're a threat to me because I'm gonna get you before you get me. And I don't want to have those thoughts about people who look like me. You understand what I'm saying? And another thing, brothers arguing with women is giving me feminine vibes. Stop arguing with women. If you disagree with what a woman is saying, politely disagree and step off. Sisters arguing with men is giving me masculine vibes. Be feminine, right? Be masculine, right? Let's be in our natural state of being. And also, our natural state of being is uniting. Our natural state of being is loving our Black skin. Everybody else loves our Black skin so much that they hate us. And now we're hating each other, and it's sickening.
This is why I deleted Instagram, Facebook, and all the other social sites. And I kept Twitter, but I'm on here every so often. And it's just ridiculous. So I need to see better. I really do. I love y'all. Stay black, stay strong. Assalamu alaikum.
Dr. Q, you there? Hey, now, Kadar, mute yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm here. Walaikum salam. Desire. Um, okay, so Melrose, go ahead.
Sorry, I had everyone muted.
Peace. Am I coming through loud and clear?
Yes.
All right, what's up, family? Dr. Sharice. I just wanted to say congratulations to all the individual endeavors that you ladies have going on in your personal lives, and then also the endeavors that you're looking to take on for us as a group, as your people. And I just wanted to add on to the conversation something that somebody said, that we tend to pick and choose when somebody's half-breed or mixed, that will claim them, and then when they do something janky or don't do something constructive, we'll separate ourselves from them. And I just want to say, yes, that I agree that we should continue to be like that. Because me personally, I'm like that. If you're on code today, cool. If tomorrow you do something janky, we'll remind you and everybody else and whatever white paymasters you may have that you ain't one of us, even if you have or a quarter or whatever the case may be. But as far as you two ladies, y'all not part of the problem, even though there are many folks, from your backgrounds who are. But besides that, I just want to say thank you for having this space. It's been very constructive so far, and I'm going to continue to listen in. Y'all take care.
Hey, can I say something real quick, Sharice?
You can go ahead. Before
Sharice,
you go, I just want to say the goal of this room has not to argue. That has not been the goal. It's been to be constructive. So thank you.
I just want to say one thing real quick. Just one thing. Hey, now fellas, this for the fellas. It's for the ladies too. But I'm speaking for the fellas because this, I'm a fella. But now let's be realistic now. Now we know that black women are just beautiful. We know this, right? So y'all need to stop the fucking cap. Y'all need to stop the cap now, because y'all know good and well if a half, I don't care, I don't know what y'all want to call them, but y'all know them
By ethnic.
By ethnic, y'all know if they fine as hell and they on code, we on them. So y'all need to cut the shit, man. Quit playing now, because y'all know better.
Listen, there's some people who has
been in my DMs,
but on
yeah,
Twitter trying to drag me, okay? Like literally in my DMs.
in our DMs.
Let me help you move. But on the freaking timeline, trying to drag me. So I'll just say that.
And we not ugly. We got some beautiful women, some beautiful black chocolate, caramel, dark, So
I
yeah,
want
if
to
you
definitely
have been in our
second
DM,
that.
oh Lord, thank you.
Y'all definitely some beautiful ladies, and
Thank you.
definitely one thing I definitely want to shout y'all out for doing y'all thing. You know what I'm saying? I seen Kadira say she became a doctor when she tweeted that. You know what I'm saying? Big congrats. I see Sharice doing her thing, like you say, out here, representing
I want to
JL.
sorry, I don't have my PhD. That is my stage name. I changed
Oh,
it.
my bad. I thought I see. Okay.
When I did Twitter Spaces, it was always just Kadira. I changed it to Doctor because people would be like, "Oh my gosh, I love your mind, your intellect." So I'm gonna.
Well, at least you're being real about it. All right, that's what's up. And my girl JL for sure. You know what I'm saying? Always keeping it a thought. Wow. One thing I want to say, I just want to before we got up out of here, as far as me being the only like male representative as a so-called bi-ethnic or whatever, I just wanted to leave a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? For the people. First thing I want to say is I wanted to address what Sonny was saying earlier, because I want to just let it be known that what he was expressing is real. You know what I'm saying? As far as other bi-ethnics or other, immigrants that come and do some undermining shit. I've seen it myself, you know what I'm saying, in my own, you know what I'm saying, like I say, like not even my own family, because my Jamaican family's from, like I say, they ride with my mama people. Like my pops fell in love with my mama. And, you know what I'm saying? My mama people like on that type of time. So my pops got on that type of time. So he ain't even like, you know what I'm saying, a lot of, but I have seen other Jamaicans, me and my brother, you know, they call them Yankee boys and all that. So I've experienced that before. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is I don't subscribe to to flat blackness. And I feel like as Black Americans specifically, we one of the most open and loving type of people where we pretty much been accepting of everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is a new thing for us, and I applaud it. You know what I'm saying? Personally, myself, because I feel like it's time for it to be known that there's different layers of blackness. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Which
just
is
one
okay.
thing or whatever. You
God did
know,
not make everybody equal, which is okay.
Exactly. You know, celebrate there's different ethnicities within our so-called race. So I want to put that out there. You know, that's how I'm rolling with it. And you know what I'm saying? I love that my Black American people is actually putting it on flow because I've seen, you know what I'm saying, how it's been shown like we don't really, you know what I'm saying, we don't necessarily put gates up like others have. So now that we doing it, people just kind of feeling like, damn, they in their feelings. But no, it's that time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it is that time. Secondly, as far as me personally, one thing about me, yeah, I was born on code. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never been a time I ain't been on code. It's just been my life. But I'm not knocking people who ain't because I feel like it's based on, you know, what you've been exposed to. You know what I'm saying? And some people get information later on in life. I just applaud whenever you do get it, you don't ignore it and you move forward. But one thing I do want to leave before I let y'all go is that y'all may not know there's a here in Detroit, we've actually passed a reparations committee, like to actually, I guess, to actually pass reparations for people in the city, you know, Black Americans here in the city of Detroit, which makes sense with Detroit having the type of history we have for Black, you know, in Black, you know what I'm saying, in America as Black people, you know. So one thing is that me and my cousin, my fully Black American cousin on that side, right? We not playing. We going to the city council to actually make sure that these so-called reparations that talking about is real reparations that's based on lineage and not just, and also that's based on some real cash payments, land allotments, or tax exemptions. Because if it don't include that, it's not real reparations. If it's other things, education, this and other thing, to me, it's welfare program. So that's what me and Cuz is gonna go to the city council to make sure that when they speak of reparations, that it really is reparations, not them trying to use it as a fad to pass some type of welfare program. So I just putting that out there
Listen,
for y'all to let you know where I'm at with it.
Let me say this.
I'm gonna land my plane there.
Thank you. Let me say this before anybody else speaks. We need, like I said, we need to be unified to get things done. Because let me tell you this, I worked on Capitol Hill this summer. I didn't hear not one person uh, discuss reparations. All these other policies that they're discussing, not one person on Capitol Hill. And I was there for a month and a half. Not one person on Capitol Hill in Congress has been discussing reparations. So we need to be unified. We need to be unified and to get somebody, at least one person in Congress, in office, to get things done concerning that, because no one is advocating for it. Now I don't know about lobbyists, if they're doing it or not, but as far as I know, this summer I didn't hear anybody discussing reparations. They talked about everything from immigration to abortion rights, to agriculture, but nothing on reparations.
And
So
also add too, yes, we do need to be unified because look what happened with Marcel. The people that didn't vote for him, they weren't half anything. They were fully Black Americans in the South, did not want to vote for him just because they wanted to go with what they knew.
Yeah.
So I feel like we do need to get one person in, and I'm not saying that has to be a bi ethnic person. I'm just saying I'm just piggybacking and saying we need to be unified. But also since Kidash shared how he was brought up, Sharice, do you mind just reiterating what you said when we started the space of how you were brought up? Because I really do want people to know again that you were raised predominantly on your mama's side if it wasn't said enough, and same as me. And I feel like if you want to share something, go ahead, because for me it's really similar to Kidar. Like, I grew up very pro-Black, even though my father was Jamaican. He became Muslim and married my mom, and they focused on raising me with Black American history only. So I would have to go to his house, and if you look down my timeline, there's this little card thing that he used to make me and my brother memorize all Black American history. Some of it is a little Pan-Africanist, I will say that, but predominantly Black American history. And so, like, this notion that because we're bi ethnic, we're gonna be, shitting on our Black American side. I don't. It's like if it happens to someone, then you have the right to vet them before it happens and vet them when it happens. But it hasn't happened with me, and so all this hate that I'm getting in my comments and ats, I just think it's really disingenuous, and it is hurtful to be coming from my Black American side because I've never experienced this outside of Twitter.
Never. Okay. But I will just reiterate. Okay. My mom is Black American. My dad is Jamaican. Um, my grandparents married my mom and my dad 1998 in Orlando, Florida. I was born 1999. I am 23. Um, and yeah, my parents separated when I was 3, divorced when I was 6. So I was raised by my mom's side. uh I would get like we would do like weekend visitations with my dad. That kind of stopped after a while, but yeah, weekend visitations, but mainly raised on my Black American side. I did grow up in the church, so I have like the Black American church aspect. Raised Pentecostal, grandparents are pastors, Tabernacle of the Enlightened Church. That's our church. I also, the school I went to a private, predominantly Black private Christian school, in what we would call the hood. Black teachers, Black principal. We had Black history events, Black History Month chapel. We had to do civil rights. What was it, a 9-page civil rights paper? Doing my research on Black American history and the civil rights movement. I mean, all of this stuff. I didn't even really, which I don't now, but I didn't really conjoin with white people until I went to college. And I don't even go to that school no more. Bless they soul. But yeah, Black American side. I'm still trying to learn my Jamaican side. I don't know much except for the food because I'm in Orlando. I have access to the food, but as far as like patois and like the history, like I have to learn that on my own because my dad, he didn't teach me that, and he was brought over here at the age of 3. His mom was already over here, so she left him. She came over here in America and left him in Jamaica, and then his grandparents and aunt brought him over here when he was 3. So he hasn't really been back since, and he hasn't taught me anything either. But that's my history. People can say what they want and judge me however they want, but they don't know me on a personal level. And so that's why I need to do better with ignoring people as well.
Yes, thank you for that. And yeah, same. Had to do a lot of research on a lot of Black activists, and like literally 3rd grade, my mom made me write about Assata Shakur for Black History Month because she was tired of me writing about Rosa Parks. And so I had to, like I said, a little Pan-Africanist, still a little Pan-Africanist today. So kindergarten, I had to wear, like, my daycare was like, we were wearing like dashikis and stuff. It's kind of embarrassing, but nonetheless, like, very pro-Black people. My father, like I said, Jamaican, but he admired my mom so much and her family that really my grandfather raised him as well, and took him under his wing, made him Muslim. And so, yeah, I'll end with that. But I just wanted to reiterate that because I feel like people assume so much. You see the Jamaican flag and you're like, yeah, they literally was like, she got to go make her some beef patties. I'm like, little do you know, like, I don't even like them. Like, I don't even eat beef. So, okay. But anyway, go ahead, Sunny.
In a
Yeah.
Taro after Sunny.
Yo, peace. Thanks for letting me speak again, Kader. Yeah, so I heard a few things that I definitely agree with. The brother Trey and the brother Chakma. I definitely don't agree with a lot of their talking points. This is like a serious conversation. And yeah, that was an issue because the brother Trey had brought up Obama. And that's an issue. That was an issue, and we should learn from that. It's a repetitive, recurring theme when we see these people who are making these decisions. And yeah, that was an issue. He was bi-ethnic, and that's not a good. That's why we have to vet certain people
Obama was
when they
biracial.
I was
biracial
getting ready to say that. Big
and
difference.
Yeah.
yeah, he was
And he's
biracial.
not even by ethnic like Black American. He's Kenyan and white American. So that don't even he don't even affiliate. That don't even count when it comes to us because he is not in the same lane. But we understand what you're saying though.
Right. Yeah. So he was biracial, right, and that was an issue, and he was also he wasn't our ethnicity. That's what I'm saying. So that flat black. Listen, that flat blackness has been so detrimental to us as far as Black Americans, where anybody who has a black face, anybody in high places with black faces, they get in political power and position and they undermine us. And another thing that I'm just it's a recurrent theme where it's Twitter Spaces this, Twitter FBA is divisive in Twitter Spaces. I have yet to hear anybody get on stage and call out the divisiveness of people who actually have the pen, that have pen and power and pass legislation and bills and policies. FBA on Twitter is not passing bills, policies, and legislation. If you consider that divisive and not the one who's actually passing the bills, not
Oh
divisive, and you're not calling it up, not you,
yeah.
Sharice,
Well
but
yeah.
you're
I was gonna say like that's what I do. I discuss politics, but I definitely understand what you're saying. That's like that's the main thing because we get our tangible through policies.
yeah,
So definitely.
yeah. People keep grabbing Twitter Spaces, nigga. Nobody listen. Twitter Spaces is not passing legislation, so we gotta nip that shit in the butt immediately. I get it. You might not like Twitter Spaces. You feel like FBA is divisive. You don't like Tariq. You don't like Secure the Tribe. Blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. Like, when are you going to call out the people who are undermining us legislative wise? You're not. It's crickets, it's chirps, and that's because people don't really care for real. All this shit is fake outrage because we Black Americans are saying that, hey, we're getting undermined and railroaded by people who are either bi-ethnic, biracial, or they're just off code and they actually have power. Hey, there's a group called NARC and then Cobra. We pulled up on them in Chicago, Secure the Tribe. We pulled up on them. We've been pulling up to reparations task force meetings for the past 3-4 months all across the country. These people, it's Mexican women, it's white people, it's Africans, it's Caribbeans. They taking long ass lunch breaks. They bullshitting and playing when it comes to our reparations time. And even the brother Chakma, I heard him say, like, I don't really care about reparations. I don't care if we get it for real. Okay, cool, bro. You got to fall back and sit this one out then. This is what I'm talking about.
You shouldn't have said that.
Hold up, G. Hold up. Nah, see, that's the thing. I'm talking about personally. You know what I mean? Like when I say I don't care about reparations, I mean like my thing is I'm not gonna let money change me, bro. You see what I'm saying? That's why I went into that whole spiel about money, like people letting money change them, like changing us as a people, all that kind of stuff. If let me tell you something, if money is gonna cost my people its pride, you see what I'm saying, and its well-being, then fuck it. You see what I'm saying? Like what we have, like what we possess, like who we are inside is 10 times greater than money.
Nah, it's not fuck. It's not
Well,
fuck it. It's not. It's
And
not
that's
fuck
why
it.
I think you.
They saying by 2030. They saying by 2030 the Black American dollar is going to be a net worth zero. It's not no fuck it, bro. If you don't want it, go ahead and sign the sign out form. We'll gladly take your money. We'll donate it to all types of charities. We'll give it to another Black American family. There's plenty of things we could do if you don't want your bread, family. So and this is what I'm saying. This is a recurrent theme with these people have these mindsets. But they have power though.
I
They
just
actually
step really quick and say that he's fully Black American and he don't want reparations. Me and
oh,
Sharice,
I never
Sharice
said
are
that.
not on that. Like you know what I mean. Like I just want to point that out. So that because I just want to bring it back to the topic. But no, the reparations is not about valuing us to dollars. It's really just pay for free labor
Yes.
To
that our
debt
ancestors.
owed.
I
A
It's
get
debt
debt.
Yes.
owed.
I
It's
get
pay
that
for
part.
free
Point
Payback.
blank period.
What
yeah,
James Brown said, payback.
yeah,
I get
it's nothing to
that.
do with your value. And I do hear what you're saying. I do hear the underlying tone of what you're saying. Like you don't want to value yourself to the dollar, but that's not what reparations is about.
I'll be honest with
We
y'all.
have to
Like,
agree to disagree. You
yeah,
know, not everybody thinks the same, honestly.
yeah. But
That's
this
what I mean. We gotta be. I understand. We gotta be unified though. But yeah, agree to disagree. But don't be like, oh, I'm not for reparations. That doesn't mean everybody else shouldn't get reparations.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Sharice. The people with that mindset Listen, family, listen, September, I want to see everybody out with these pull-ups in September. Security, we already got 28 states locked in. You know what I'm saying? And we pulling up the state capitals, city halls, and a lot of different things. I'm down here in Orlando. So, but what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that people with these mindsets are controlling and dictating our reparations. They're undermining us. And these people, when you pull back their lineage, because we're doing lineage first, moving, we're not doing flat blackness just because you look black from the outside. I don't give a damn about none of that. We're doing lineage. How we're tracing your lineage. We're doing lineage first. And I'm glad Kadira said she don't subscribe to flat blackness too, because I heard it when she was on our podcast, and I agree 1,000%. But flat blackness has what detrimented and undermined us for the past 60 years with this Pan-African bullshit. And are these people actually going to get and line up with the Black American agenda and vote on our tangibles and policies if they have dual allegiances? Are you going to vote, and are you going to vote for stricter immigration laws and policies? That's a great question, because immigration has harmed us as far as foundational Black Americans. You look at these cities, the Detroits, the New Yorks, the Phillies. These cities, they don't look like the same how they looked in. And these are historical Black Americans. And Kadira, you out there with Brother Divine.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. What was I gonna say first? What I was gonna say that. Well, firstly, damn, I forgot it. But nonetheless, yes, stricter immigration policies, because I can clearly see in New York how my Jamaican family has gotten over on a lot of things. They've been handed land, they've been handed homes, they've been able to get things that my grandparents never had before they died. They did not own a house. I'm the first person in my family to own a house outright by myself, paid for it all by myself. None of my Black American family members own homes, yet my Jamaican family members own 5-6 homes in Brooklyn. And I could see the discrepancy there. And yes, there needs to be stricter immigration policies, because how the hell did that happen when Brooklyn had Weeksville, which is a predominantly post-slave community? So what I'm saying is, like, when you hear me speak like that, and then you try to come at me because I'm half, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not speaking against us at all. That doesn't make any sense. So absolutely. And I was going to say something else that you had just mentioned, but I forgot.